vengeance.
Gold!
Your orders, Captain?
Get clearance from control and close the shuttle bay doors. Then disable the tractor moorings.
Shuttle bay doors are closed, sir.
Earth traffic control has cleared us to depart, sir.
Take us out. Maximum thrusters.
Captain.
Lay in a rendezvous course. Engage.
I see that you have arrived, as instructed. We have much work to do.
Sensor sweep complete. No response.
We must be vigilant.
Agreed. All hands, go to yellow alert.
We're picking up something here. Multiple enemy signals on sensors.
They're coming in from 12 o'clock! Shields collapsing!
Return fire.
Alpha Wing, you are cleared for departure.
Enemy ships closing. Engaging. Weapons free. Target. She's vulnerable. Fire. For the Empire!
What have we here? Looks like some lovely salvage for the taking.
Mayday! Mayday! We need immediate assistance! Mayday!
Surrender and we may be merciful.
Stand down and prepare to be boarded.
We do what we want and take what we want.
Fire at will. One down, one to go.
Thanks for the assistance. We don't see too many Starfleet vessels out here. Glad you could join us.
This is the Kobayashi Maru. 19 crews out of all Tier 6. We have struck a gravitic mine and have lost all power. Hull penetrated. Life support systems failing.
Reinforcements are en route. Hold the line. Moving to defensive position.
Here they come. All ships, battle stations.
To all hands, brace for impact.
There's too many of them. We're taking every damage.
Keep those Klingon ships off us.
We'll try and hold them off as long as we can.
Emergency over to shields. Looks like I arrived just in time.
Auxiliary power restored.
Let him have it!
Enemy eliminated, Captain.
That was too close for comfort. Well done, everyone.
Thank you for your assistance. Live long and prosper.
Hello,
everybody! Welcome to another Vengeance God stream. My name is Mikey Fatum, also known as Ambassador Kel, also known as Vengeance God, and I am so excited to be back to the world of Star Trek Online with so many lovely people today. Brief apology for how absolutely terribly late we're starting. OBS was telling me it couldn't connect to Twitch for the longest time. And I couldn't figure out how to fix it, and then I eventually realized I didn't need to fix it, and it wasn't actually an issue, and I'm kind of embarrassed. So here we are! But it's a great day, because I am joined by three incredible people who I love to spend time with. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thomas Baroni. It's that way. Jeremy Randall. It's Pundus. Say hello, everybody!
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Thomas, you broke it. You gotta go back and say exactly what it's. Never mind.
Hello, everybody.
How are y'all doing today?
Great. Excited to be here.
Good. Yeah.
Let's show off some ships.
Yeah.
It's been a morning.
It's been a morning.
Yeah, it sure has been a morning. Apparently the developers are as excited to show you guys this stuff as you are to see it. But first of all, I just want to say hello to everybody in chat, and a special big hello to Counselor Suna and Flo, who I saw from Deca, who are here. I love to see you guys tuning in for these streams. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to Suna for all of the work you did in facilitating the last couple of interviews I've done. I've loved working with you for a long time, so I'm glad we get to keep doing it. All right, so now's the part where I just delay as long as possible before we show anybody a ship, right? That's what I do now. That's
yeah,
what
that's
like
what
wiki.
tune in for.
Yeah.
Making kids wait to open presents.
Yeah, exactly. You have to wait until we've had breakfast. Your mom worked really hard on that quiche.
You have any fan art to show?
Not today. There probably is some, but I didn't grab it. So you know, yeah. And I also want to quickly point out, because you can only kind of see it on stream, that Pundus has come after me personally with the starship he put to his left. Blow up Oberths in the chat, please. We do normally do fan art on stream. If you want to submit some of your own, you can head up the Discord that I just posted a link to in chat. That's where we post all that stuff. We also have a great community going on over there. So, with all of that in mind, I think, for the sake of everyone's sanity, and for the sake of Pundus getting to go to sleep at some time tonight, let's jump right in to taking a look at some of these beautiful, beautiful starships. Oh, crap, we're starting with gorgeous. All right, Thomas, Pundus, what am I looking at?
This is the
Thomas.
Yeah, this is the Pioneer 2. We're calling it that because of the Constitution 2 became the canonized name for the Constitution refit during the whole run up to Star Trek Picard season 3. So if that isn't enough numbers for you, don't worry. All it is a TMP era Pioneer. This was actually modeled and designed. Tobias actually came up with the design for this one. And modeled it for us, Tobias Richter, and he did a great job. And then Keen did the work of bringing it into the game, and Keen did some massaging on a few elements to really kind of flesh it out and give it kind of the whole patterning that you see like on the Constitution refit. Get some of the details in the texture there. You know, the TMP era is such a great, just artistically, aesthetically, it's one of the best eras as far as I'm concerned in Star Trek. And no one will be surprised to hear me say that, and no one should be surprised if you're tuning into a TMP era stream for us to hear us gush about this era, these ships, and this aesthetic.
Especially Thomas. Thomas wakes up in the morning and looks at a picture of the motion picture and says, how can I make that my reality today?
Yeah, well, I mean, the world would be a better place if we all did that, frankly. But, you know, a lot of people have been asking for a T6 Pioneer for a long time. It's a great ship. The original TOS Pioneer. Actually, Jeremy, can you go to the Taylor? Let's talk about that for a second.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Just contact dialogue, Alex. We'll do it.
Yep. Oh, right. I have my UI turned off.
I do want to point out that Ramon was actually the one who intake this. I just did the polish part.
Oh,
on
you
it.
you did the intake, right? Okay, you're right. Sorry. So Ramon did the initial intake, and then Pundus did some polish on it later. We had a lot of runway on these ships. So one of the things I wanted to point out here that you might eagle-eyed viewers might notice that this is a new material. So not only did we get the TMP Pioneer in here, but I also up-res the original Pioneer model.
Ooh.
So it's got a rounder, like it's a higher poly, and then this is a new Type 0A material on the ship. So that's I'm excited about that. It's inspired by the look of the. It's a lot more subtle. It's inspired by the look of the Smithsonian restoration. When they, they recently restored the TOS Enterprise filming model, and they, worked very hard to match the paint that was originally used in the series. And so I wanted to bring that into Star Trek Online for the Pioneer. And spoiler alert, we'll show off the Constitution as well. Both those ships got it. Those are the only two ships that got this new material, but
Gorgeous
so
material,
far.
though.
But we'll add it later. The other ships.
I know this is not exactly a new thing for the TOS ships, but I love those Bussard collectors you've got spinning there. That just looks so freaking cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite features of the TOS ships. So yeah, if you click Pioneer 2, that's the TMP variant. And then click on Plymouth. So this bundle also includes a bonus variant that's a 25th century variant called the Plymouth, which is also designed by Tobias Richter. Tobias did a great job taking the Exeter pieces that we recently remastered, sort of rearranging them into the Pioneer skin. So this is this just comes with it comes with the bundle, but it also comes with, if you buy the Pioneer separately, you'll also get access to the Plymouth skin as well.
Nice. I love how that still like really keeps the classic like shapes of like TOS, but really like has the STO stylings to it. That's a really, really cool mashup.
Yeah,
like the sort of muscle car front to
the
right
nacelles.
This is a fun little ship, and it was important to me because I know that not everybody has the same nostalgia that I have for this era of ship. For the TMP era, it was important to me that all of these ships have access to alternate skins that are more in line with the STO era or TNG era aesthetic. So in the case of the Pioneer and the Ark Royal, that meant like brand new skins, extra skins. In the case of the Corala
and the Royal
yet. Spoil the Royal.
Those already got announced.
Yeah.
And the Shangri-La, those are, it just, you have access to the existing skins of the more modern eras. So yeah, I think that's
very cool.
That's all I have to say about the art on this one. I don't know, Keen, if there's anything else you wanted to chime in on. Oh, the nacelles. Go hit advanced here. Oh, too late.
Oh, I can go back. Sorry,
yeah.
Thought we were done.
Just real quick. A couple of people asked about this on Blue Sky, so I just want to hit advanced, and then if you go to the nacelles, and then you have access to like different versions of nacelles based on the they're lit, and then there's like a TNG color option too for people. So I know that people like to role play that, oh, my Miranda got refit and it has upgraded engines and stuff like that. So any of the ships in the bundle have these alternate nacelles with them.
That is really, really cool. Pundus, did you have anything you wanted to add about this ship in particular? I know you just said you didn't actually import it, but I know you worked a little bit with all these on the trailer.
Well, I'm really happy about getting a TSX Pioneer in the game. Like when I got into STO, like started playing more regularly, the first character I created was a TOS era one. So I'm really happy to see this finally come to the game, and I hope players enjoy it.
We've never actually talked about this on stream because this is your first time on stream. Do you want to talk a little bit about your journey from from being an STO fan to content creator to working on Picard and then eventually the game?
Yeah, so it's mostly thanks to you. Like I started out making fan art with STO ships and sending them to you on 10-4 weekly. And we connected, and I got you to prank Thomas with the old Pathjager, and from there I became friends with Thomas. And that indirectly led to a interaction with Dave Blass, who brought me on to do Previs and some miscellaneous rendering work for Picard Season 3, which led me to work on X Astris, the Space Dock tie-in series for STO, and eventually I've ended up working for STO properly.
That was probably the most succinct way you could have told that story. But yeah, what's it like to go from making fan art of a game to working on a game? What new stuff have you learned about Star Trek Online? I mean, that you can talk about since going, on this, I will say, new frontier and be cheesy.
Well, making ships in STO is more difficult than I thought it was.
I'm glad to hear you say that. I'm glad to hear you.
Everything is harder than we think it is out here on this side of the screen. How so? Provide me with additional details, Panda Man.
Well, first off, I have to match up to the level of detail that Donnie, Thomas, Mauricio have done in the past. And second off, some of the systems that you would think as a player are easy in the game, like for example, changing windows on a ship, are actually extremely tedious and time-consuming to do.
All right. Well, cool. Well, let's keep on rocking through these ships, and then we'll circle back and talk a bit more about the trailer later. Jeremy, what's the next one you want to show off to us, or do you want to go through the stats on this one first?
I think we should.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That makes sense.
So
let's talk about what the role of the ship is.
The stats very closely. I think that our dev blog is either out or will be.
It is indeed out.
Okay, great. But I'll go over a little bit of this just for the folks watching along. So the Pioneer is a pilot spec heavy frigate. That means that it has pilot maneuvers, so it can do its all cool little flippies and everything, as you see here. As a frigate, it has an abundance of universal seating. It comes with a pilot primary seat and a secondary seat. Let me pull it up here. A Miracle Worker secondary seat. That's what green is, right? Mostly universal seating. Pretty standard in terms of maneuverability and everything. It's on the high end because it's both a frigate and a pilot ship. So this ship is designed to be pretty maneuverable. Part of the inspiration fiction you might call it that we had for this ship is that it was designed as a frontier patrol ship. So it had to be capable of being pretty versatile and adapting to whatever situations might arise out on the frontier of the Federation. And also kind of capable of holding its own in case of combat. Although it's a little squishy as a frigate, but it still is versatile enough that it should be able to stand up to enemies.
Now, as a
5.3 weapon layout, 5.2.4 consoles, should be about what you expect from a frigate in terms of stats and seating and everything.
Does it come with a special new trait? I don't know. Bundle ships don't usually have two consoles, but
yeah. So the Starship trait is actually.
Can you actually scoot that to the right on the screen? Sorry, our faces are blocking it. Thank you, because I know people will want to screenshot that tooltip so bad.
The Starship trait is, again, going back to the fiction that this is a ship meant to be alone on the frontier. This trait is meant to kind of make up for that. When you become surrounded by enemies, you call in additional pioneers to help you in combat. It's pretty straightforward. There's an internal lockout. I don't think it's mentioned on this. It doesn't look like it's mentioned on this, but whenever you're surrounded by enemies, you will automatically, periodically, check how many enemies are nearby and then summon in reinforcements if you're outnumbered or if there's a lot of enemies. So in a target-rich environment, you can end up with a lot of allies on your side. Obviously, it only triggers while you're in combat.
Makes sense.
I think I can show it off here by making a bunch of bad guys.
Oh, you got a bad guy button.
I have a bad guy button. Yeah, see?
Oh, yeah, and they come. That sounds extremely useful for little zippy ships like this. Do you...
an automated little buddy to help you out.
Yeah. Do you anticipate this is going to be more of a like getting things face, all cannons on the front kind of ship, or something else? What sort of play space did you envision when you were designing it?
Well, so first of all, I should have mentioned this up front. I didn't design any of these ships.
Oh.
I am the lead designer, so I have an oversight on everything that is made here. But these ships were each made by, and I'm not going to be able to remember who made which, but either Phil or Mayo, two of our DECA systems designers. They're the ones that actually pitched me the original ideas for each of these ships, their identities, and actually did all the implementation work. Again, with oversight from myself. But they're the ones that actually conceptualized all of these. As far as how you want to play it, I think for the Pioneer, it's really all just about versatility. It can do a lot of different options, so it's however you feel most comfortable. It can fit cannons. It's got 5 forward weapons. So if you want to play it that way, that's totally cool. Pilot seating can really help you get up in the thick of things, so could be good at that. But it's got so many universal seats, you can do a lot with this ship.
Very, very cool. Augie, I'm sorry, I must disagree completely. Let's give Stu even more stuff to summon. All the things. Just fill the screen. Crash the game. It'll be great. Does it have a new console as well? Now you're going to need to scoot it back to the left a little bit. I'm so sorry. Imagine that there's just like a window in the middle.
I guess. Okay, so the Ridge system, fictionally, this was meant to be like, what would a ship in the Federation need in the 24th century when it's patrolling the neutral zone, or the edges of the neutral zone? So this kind of grew out of the idea of let's give them a specialized thing that when it detects a cloaked ship or something, it launches torpedoes, and it kind of grew out of that idea. So this is a auto-targeting torpedo AOE, not actually torpedo. Sorry, consoles are not torpedoes. The distinction is important to me.
And important to stats, I imagine.
Okay, so if I launch this, it should it'll grab near.
Oh, that's cool.
Each time, and it launches 5 different salvos, each time picking a new set of 5 targets.
Now you said
that are nearby.
You said very specifically that these aren't torpedoes. I assume that means that they won't be buffed by things that buff torpedoes then.
Yeah, right.
Cool. Very nice. It looks awesome though. Now, important question, Jeremy. What does Ridge stand for? Oh, you've actually got it.
Defense grid emitter.
Oh, you got me. Very, very cool. I love it. I love those consoles. I love how that all looks. All right, we got quite a few ships to get through here, so let's move on to the next one.
I think we were going to do this in trailer order, which means the Ark Royal is up next.
Right. Yep.
I really like this ship. I really like the whole I don't even know how to describe it. I guess catamaran looking design of it. It's very, very cool and very different. So Thomas, tell us a little bit about this guy.
Yeah, I love the Ark Royal too. I always have. It's from the video game Star Trek Starfleet Command, which I believe came out in 2000. That's a TMP era game. It has lots of really cool original TMP designs, including the Ark Royal, which in that game it's actually called the Ranger class, but we already had a Ranger class in STO.
Yeah.
So there was another carrier of the same class called the Ark Royal. So we just decided to call the Ark Royal instead for STO. This was modeled by Tobias, and Keen, I think. Did you or did Ramon do the intake on this one? It might have been Ramon who also did the intake on this one originally. But
I did this one, and Ramon did the Kitty Hawk.
Okay, right on. Yeah, it's just a cool carrier. I really love the bridge, like the tall bridge. It gives a very kind of tall ship feel.
Yeah,
it's got like a lot of hangar bays. And the 4 nacelles. This is, I think the reason I like the Chimera so much is because of this ship. Like the Chimera has a very similar wide stance 4 nacelles kind of look to it.
Yeah.
And it's big for a TMP ship. It's about 100 meters or so longer than the Constitution II. And yeah, so if you want to take it into the ship trailer really quick, we can show people off the.
This
also comes with the.
Pause for 25 seconds because some people are stuck in an ad before we show off anything too crazy. But go ahead and go into the ship trailer. Yeah, I forgot to run the ad right at the beginning because of all the tech issues. Should be almost back though. 5 seconds. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that, those of you who had to watch an ad, but we paused for you for a sec so that we could keep going.
Awesome. So yeah, in the ship trailer, you'll see that there's another variant here. This again, like the Plymouth, this just comes with the ship either through an individual purchase or if you get it in the bundle. But it's called the Kitty Hawk, and it's a Picard era take on the design. This was designed by Jamie Armstrong, also known as Scorpion Design. They did a fantastic job kind of melding the Ark Royal with the Picard aesthetic. Our big inspirations here were the Constitution 3, obviously, the Duderstat and the Sagan. And I think it's a cool take on that era. And it gives people, again, just another, if you're not into the nostalgia of it, here you have another option that's more closely aligned with the STO era.
That is really
and
cool.
Also, yeah, can you go back to the Ark Royal template?
Area.
Yeah. So if you go to advanced, we'll show off the nacelles really quick. And just like the yeah.
Oh, different nacelles on the top and the bottom. Cool.
Yeah, you can do that for any 4 nacelle ship. Can do that.
Yeah.
And then so you can light them differently. And then the other thing I wanted to show off was the hull. So if you go to the hull and Ark Royal open door hangers.
Oh,
so
nice.
This is actually this is something that we had to do for the trailer. Because we wanted to show, the ship launching the fighter, so that meant the hangar doors had to be open. And so Keen had to model the inside of the hangars and had to figure out what that looked. And then once we made it, we were like, well, we should just put it into the game.
Yeah. Keen, what was that process like? What did you use for reference and stuff to make the hangars?
I basically workshopped some shapes of Thomas. I was wondering if you wanted it to be through deck, so it is sort of through deck. Each of the hangars have a little cave that goes through each one, so they're all connected. And it was just workshopping shapes between us, getting references from other ships in STO that have open hangars, like the Seneca and the Shakar Remaster, and just getting that to make it look nice for the trailer. And then it ended up showing for half a second in the final cut. Players get it now.
Yeah, Jeremy, can you set this and then go look at the hangars up close? I was just about to ask. Oh, that's cool. I just really want to pilot a ship out of the hangar and into space. I'll have to figure out how to do that in demo record or something. I'm deeply curious. I'm sure it's either a Star Trek or military history deep cut. Where does Kitty Hawk come from?
Yeah, it's a so Kitty Hawk was it North Carolina? That's where the Wright brothers had their first powered flight.
Oh.
And there was an aircraft carrier, a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, the USS Kitty Hawk, which I'm pretty sure was named after that town because of that.
Nice. That's really cool. I learn something new every day. All right. Well, Jeremy, do you want to talk us through what this Royal Kitty Hawk can do?
Yep, no problem. So this is a science carrier, but I think right off the bat, one thing to mention that a lot of players have already noticed from our posts and some of the leaks that went out previously, this is a science carrier that has a secondary deflector. This ship is kind of a test bed for us to see if science carriers with secondary deflectors kind of shore up some of the performance gaps that players have noted that science carriers kind of lag behind engineering and tactical carriers in some regards. So we're trying it out here. Seems to be going over pretty well now. So I won't make a promise, but I will say it's very likely we go back and look at older science carriers and potentially add secondary deflectors to them as well. So this isn't like a new class necessarily. It's just sort of a test bed for that particular feature. It's a full carrier. 2 hangar bays, the usual 6-weapon layout like a science carrier has, with secondary or sensor analysis and subsystem targeting. It is an Intel primary ship with a, is that Tempop? Yeah, that's Tempop secondary seat. So I don't remember where the Intel inspiration comes from. Let me pull up some of the notes that the designers sent me on these.
While you're pulling that up, Scorp is in chat and said that it was their suggestion to do Kitty Hawk because it felt with the Ark Royal theme. So very, very nice, Scorp. Thanks for doing that. Glad you're here.
So
we should have put you on the stream too, bud.
So a little bit of a behind the scenes. So when we first were concepting about what this ship could do, the designer wanted to go into mine laying territory. We decided we would pull back from that a little bit, although you'll see a little bit of that left over here. There is a mine pre-equipped on this ship. We'll probably refocus on a mine layer in the future at some point. For this ship, we really just wanted to focus on being the best science carrier that it could be with that new secondary deflector. Really focus in on that, on just like, this is what a science carrier should be all about. Trying to make it the new breed, the new standard. So a lot of science seating, commander science. Intel is kind of sometimes science adjacent, so that's probably what informs the spec choice here. Sometimes you just end up, when you're doing 4 ships, you're like, well, this one is definitely that, and this one is definitely that, and what do we have left over?
That's awesome. Yeah. No problem, Scorp. If people aren't comfortable being on streams, I definitely don't want to make anyone do anything uncomfortable. But if anybody in that watch party over there wants to jump on a stream, let me know. I'd love to talk to everybody. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the trait in the console.
Okay. Well, first of all, I also want to mention that this.
Oh yeah, the new fighters.
I believe this is a new hangar pet, the Type 4 shuttle, which is.
Yeah, it is.
Mechanically, I believe this just ended up being a derivative of another shuttle, but with TMP era weaponry attached to it. So, but they have the new shuttle exterior. Let's see, where are they? Let's see if I can zoom in on them, if I could find them. They're so tiny. Where are you? This might be a lost cause. Where are they?
Launch another thing and keep track of them.
Oh, there they are.
Oh, there. Oh, wow. All right.
And then let's make them hold still.
Yep.
So I can zoom in on them.
They might be on top of each other. Yep. But that's okay.
Kind of clipped in. Here, this one's not clipped in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Looks
so,
very nice.
New shuttle pet. Very clean. Who made this, Thomas?
Ramon. Ramon Montes made these. I think this was actually his very first task on Star Trek Online.
Oh, nice.
And made it into the game.
Yep, finally made it into the game. These are, of course, the shuttles from Star Trek V, and I think they show up in TNG with different nacelles later on. But yeah, they're Type 4, which I don't think is actually canonical. You just see that the Galileo, and I think they just sort of earned the name Type 4 after the fact.
Very cool. And what were the second type of fighters that we saw in the trailer? Are those just?
Those are
the Kodai,
those are
right?
actually the console.
Those
are actually the console. So let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So this is directly inspired by the video game that this came from, which I don't remember which game it was. It was this
Fleet Command 2.
Starfleet Command 2, yeah.
Starfleet Command.
So not to be confused
yes,
with the
you're
mobile
right.
game,
You're
Star
right.
Trek Fleet Command.
Sorry.
So Scatterpacks and Wild Weasels were both different types of pets that appeared in that. The Wild Weasel was something that we already have in the game. There's a starship trait on another ship that summons the Wild Weasels, but we decided to bundle them together. So this is a 2-in-1. Activating the console, which I'll make some enemies here to fight at.
You don't want to press your enemy button? Or do you not have it on this one?
I didn't have it. I have to give it to each ship individually. There's my enemy button.
There you go.
And my fighter pets using beam overload on them.
Nice.
Okay, so this will launch a series of pets, like a number of Wild Weasels and a number of Scatterpacks. The Scatterpacks are the new one and probably the most obvious visually, because they're the ones that showed up in the trailer. Sorry, let me kill my pets here. They're just
How
noisy
could
at
you?
the moment. I want to make sure you can tell which pets are what. Oh, and that's call to arms.
Too much stuff.
And I need to unslot call to arms. There we go.
Oh wow!
Okay,
Just unslotting it exploded it.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. So this will launch the scatter pack shuttles, which will fly towards their target. And I have a. Okay.
Did you just do the other console?
No. That is the console, but it's not showing off the full thing because I was testing something locally and I had a bunch of the other pets turned off.
Oh.
Can you turn off my screen for a moment?
Yeah. Totally. Hold on. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, it's gone.
Jabber a little bit about the art or something.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, Mike, you asked about the fighters. So the Scatter Pack and Weasels are actually using the Type 4 skin because that's what they were in Starfleet Command 2. They were kind of repurposed shuttles that had electronic warfare capabilities, and then the Scatter Pack shuttle, which just has a bunch of missiles loaded into it, and you see those in the trailer. The fighters themselves. Those are we call them Kodai fighters. They actually were introduced in the game when we did the legendary Matsumoto Akira.
Oh right.
TMP Akira. But they were introduced in Starfleet, Star Trek Starfleet Command 2, as pets for the as fighters that the Ark Royal would use. So the Ark Royal comes with both a wing of Kodai fighters and Type 4 pets, hangar pets. And then the Scatter Packs and Weasels is a console that you use, that you slot in your universal console slots or any console slot because it's universal console. So you can use that and you don't have to use those hangar pets if you don't like them.
All right, I fixed it. I'm ready to go.
All right.
Thank you for your patience.
All right, hit me with that.
So now we see how this better work.
Mhm.
There we go. There's all of our buddies.
Oh, that's cool. So in the trailer, I noticed the shuttles fired off their missiles after they exploded. Is that something that happens with this console, or was that just a cool thing for the trailer?
I think Thomas, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the fiction is just that they're automated shuttles that are just loaded with warheads, and you just strip away the hull, and the warheads go towards the enemy. So they self-destruct.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Very cool.
That's just what they're designed to do.
Neat.
Yeah, the only shuttles left there are the
Weasels.
You notice that Scatter Pack shuttles disappear and the Weasels are left behind.
Yeah.
The idea is that the Weasels are distracting the enemy while the Scatter Packs, get through their defenses.
And
that's what the Weasels do. They have basic attacks, as you can see them shooting at people, but they also deal increased threat and will periodically just straight up taunt.
Yeah.
So they're distracting enemies.
So I wonder if this could be really useful.
They will die if they taunt people.
Right.
I wonder how useful this could be for a squishier ship then, as a console, just to be like, crap, protect me. I might have to use it on my build.
This can also be used to give extra survivability to your hangar pets if you use it on the Ark Royal. Or your Pioneer buddies if you're using that trait.
Nice. Very cool.
Well, let's take a look at, speaking of traits.
Yeah, let's take a look at the trait.
What this is just a... what is it? Mine, all mine. Okay, so here we do get a little bit of that mine layer thing. So this is essentially going to, whenever you launch a hangar pet, you get free mines. They will follow you. They're kind of like the tether mines. And then once they detect a nearby enemy, they will fly towards nearby foes. So if I slot this, it should just work, if I remember correctly. So I do want to mention to the folks watching this on live stream, some of this is hard to remember because we actually finished the ship like 2 months ago in design. So my apologies. And then if I launch hangar pets, I might need, let's make sure that I'm in combat. Might require that. Yeah, there's free mines.
So many mines.
Explosions. Yep. So I think, where are the mines? Oh, they already exploded. I want more pets. Here's the mines. Oh, they teleport. That's right. I forgot about that. That was from Starfleet Command. The mines actually teleport in front of targeted enemies and then explode. That's why
you would
traveling.
You would beam them in front of people.
Yeah.
My ship is towing mines.
So you don't have to worry about travel time or anything. They just they appear and then they find a nearby target and teleport to them and blow up.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Any other details any of you guys want to say about the Ark Royal / Kitty Hawk before we move on to the next one?
I hope you love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
This is, I think, one that so far players have been kind of latching onto the most. So, hoping to see a lot of videos of people like, yes, it's the best carrier ever, so that we can justify spending time to improve the other science carriers.
Yep. Cheops wants to know if the mines count towards the entity limit.
There's an entity limit?
Yeah, people hit it sometimes by spawning way too many things.
All entities count towards the entity limit. If you're doing that much nutso crazy stuff, then that's on you.
There's nothing we can do. Ryukin0D wanted to know if there's any details on the Type 4 shuttle. You said they were mechanically the same as a previous pet, right?
Yeah, let me just show you the tooltip here. Maybe that could answer the question. I don't remember what their mechanical copy of, but there's nothing super fancy about them. You can see the trait attaching there. They have a phaser pulse cannons and beam overload. You can fit Callistos on this ship. Yeah, you should be able to. Any Federation frigate should be usable on this ship if we set them up correctly. Please let us know if we didn't.
What was that redemption?
It is a two-hanger.
Dance.
Oh, I did also want to mention that all of the consoles that we're mentioning here are usable on any ship. They should be moved to any other ship freely. There's no restrictions here.
Very cool. Somebody just redeemed me doing the Victory of Sompek dance. Would anyone like to join me before I start? I didn't think
I don't remember it.
Count us off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jeremy's got it. And lightning. There you go. There you go. Oh, Thomas, that was the best snake I've ever seen. All right, let's hop on to the next ship and see what else we got going on here. And also, welcome to everybody who's joining in. We got a lot of viewers here. Thank you for the bits, Examir. For those of you who don't know, my name is Mikey Fatum. I used to be the community manager for Star Trek Online. I am currently a full-time streamer. And we're doing an interview about the contents of the 15th anniversary bundle, which was announced this morning. Head to playstartrekonline.com for more details.
What's up next, Thomas? Corala or Shangri-La?
Corala.
Augie was begging for the Shangri-La earlier, and it got the theme song to Shangri-La Frontier stuck in my head, which is just someone saying, show me the Shangri-La over and over. Oh, this is cool. This looks a lot like a Gargarin, honestly.
It is. Yeah,
okay.
That's what the... Yeah, so Corala is a TMP Gagarin, TMP Shepherd, I guess more accurately described. I mean, that's really what it says on the tin. This was designed and modeled by our partners at Virtuos, the XDev house, and then I know Keen's internet dropped out, so
I thought he just got super quiet. My bad.
yeah, no. I think he did. I can't remember if it was him or remote. This was done intake on this done a while back. I think he did the intake on this. Yeah, and actually we got I want to call out Scorpion Design again. They worked with Keen to polish up some of the design after we got it back from Virtuos and really make it sing and really bring that TMP era out in a really nice, clean way. Yeah, okay. He said it. Cut him out on the ship he did the most work on.
So that sucks. I'm so sorry about this.
That means that he did the intake on this one. And he did a great job, and I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I think it was fun having at least one thing that kind of surprised people from this bundle. A lot of people guessed a lot of them right, but I don't think too many people saw this one coming. But the Gagarin is such a popular ship.
It is
in STO, and so to me it made sense to like, oh, what would you took that that footprint and upgraded it to the TOS era, what would that look like?
Well, this dual strut thing going on here.
Oh, that's interesting. You should be able to have access to the Gagarin. I'll have to.
It
I'll
may be
test
that
that.
Jeremy doesn't have a
Purchased it.
Gagarin on this account. Usually that's what causes
Oh, okay.
that.
Yep.
Well, it should come with it should just come with this ship too.
But if he
so,
granted it to himself directly, it won't necessarily give him all the bundle stuff.
Right. I don't have the costume unlocked, so I just gave myself the ship.
Yeah.
Right. But even that. Okay. Well, we'll investigate that.
Just in case.
It should come with a Gagarin, the STO era Gagarin skin as well. Keen also made some. We thought it'd be fun to do some like phase 2 nacelles for this guy, just as a little treat. So
back,
that's
my
what those.
internet is
Oh, he's back.
my internet cut out after the Songpak dance.
I just
What-
broke
what did I
everything. Yeah, that
miss?
makes sense. All right. You missed. Now I have to put everybody's face back where it belongs again. Just a moment, chat. We've got double Keen all the way across the sky. What does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
What
like
have
these
you said
nacelle
so
caps
far,
because
Thomas?
I noticed it earlier. They're actually like translucent. You can kind of see the bulbs
Yeah,
inside.
That's cool.
I love that.
Hold on, Jeremy. Wait 1 second, then show that off again. I have Thomas in
Okay.
the middle of the screen as I'm trying to fix cameras here.
I will show you my bulbs again.
Yes, please show me your bulbs, but just wait 1 more second. All right, bulb
What have
away.
you mentioned about it so far, Thomas?
Bulb. Yeah, there. I've done it.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. So you got disconnected, Keen. Is there anything you want to add about the ship?
I was wondering what Thomas has already said, but this ship was originally made by Virtuos, and they did a really good job, but since they are an outsourcing company, I worked with Scorp to bring it up to a level where it fit with the TMP era as much as Thomas wanted. So there was a lot of iteration on it, and the nacelles especially went through a lot of changes, and that's why the phase 2 nacelles and the normal nacelles are slightly different, because we decided to keep the phase 2 ones more closer to the original instead of the full wraparound Excelsior style nacelles.
So what kind of detail work did you have to do to sort of enhance it into that TMP aesthetic?
It's been a while since I worked on this, but it was a lot of minor detail things to just bring it all the way. For example, the escape pod placement, where I made it so that it resembled the Constitution style ones more, with like, I don't remember how they go exactly, but like flip-flops between the different panels and isn't entirely symmetrical. It loops around the whole way. And some other minor things like getting the detailing of the Aztecing on the hull panels correct and making sure everything had the same detailing as exists on other TMP ships. It was also a slight challenge to make it so that this wasn't too Excelsior-y, because Thomas had already created the Jojo, which is a similar, like, take a Discovery design and make it TMP.
Yeah.
So we wanted to focus this more on the Constitution style lineage of ships.
Very cool. Scorpion also says a big thing that was added for that TMP aesthetic was the saucer notch, which is great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
saucer
love this
notch in the
deflector.
hangar bays. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of a
like the deflector.
It's a very cool deflector.
The hangar bays were kind of inspired by the Constellation a little bit. And two, if you look in the nacelles, I think the nacelles kind of have a little bit of the Constellation. The front of the nacelles have a little bit of the Constellation nacelles are actually like subtly different from the TMP Conning nacelles. They're a little like bulkier, wider, in certain ways. They're hard to articulate. But anyway, yeah. So I see this as kind of a contemporary of the Constellation, sort of like post Connie. Maybe a little bit before the Excelsior.
I like that we've sort of created a design history just by making all these different versions, or I guess you guys have created a design history of different starships now, where it's like it starts as the Discovery era, and then it's in the TMP era, and then it ends up in the STO era, as sort of the same class being updated and retrofitted over the centuries, at least decades.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the Star Trek fans who love ships. That's one of their favorite things to do is to take ship X and reimagine it in era Y, and so getting to do that, but like doing it kind of with an officially licensed Star Trek game is really fun because it kind of brings the universe to life. It connects the dots, like you're saying, and it just it lets you, if you really like the footprint of the Gagarin, but you're not wild about the Discovery style. Well, now here's something that's a bit more, in line with classic Star Trek that you can use.
Yeah.
And conversely, if you don't like the TMP era, you can still use the Shepard or the Gagarin pieces and kind of live the fantasy of Star Trek that you want to live.
Sir Boulevard says that's why you're making an Enterprise era Odyssey, right, Thomas? And then he says, I kid, but he's not kidding. We all know he's not kidding.
The scale on that would make no sense.
That would be great. I would love it. I love it when scale makes no sense. Mostly because of how much it annoys Thomas.
Oh man, that's my word. It's my pet peeve.
I remember we had a whole discussion once on somebody was making a resin table with a bunch of different starship models on it. And you were talking about how like the table was beautiful, but because the models were all different sizes, the scales were all off. And I was like, yeah, well, one of the ships I have on my wall, I just imagine some of them are further away and some of them are closer. And you were like, oh my God, I can do that.
You can do it for free.
Yeah, it's amazing. Imagination, y'all. It's a powerful force for something. All right, so we've seen now there was a different skin on the that I saw go by in the customizer. Is that an older skin or is that a new thing for the bundle as well?
Oh, that's
the Shepard.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, the Shepard, which is the Discovery era skin. Yeah.
Yeah, Shepard. Okay, cool. Well then, Jeremy, let's talk a little bit about this this new Gagarin take with a whole new era and how the design worked for it.
All right, so we ended up the core concept that inspired a lot of how the ship is outfitted, the stats, the seating, everything that we decided here was inspired by we want to make a ship that is dedicated to broadsiding, or at least does it well. So when we get to looking at the console and the trait, they're specifically designed for broadsiding. It is a battle cruiser, which typically in our existing ship catalog is usually forward-facing weapons like 5.3 is very common, might even say standard for a battle cruiser. But in this case, we chose to go for the 4.4 layout, again, for the broadsiding aspect of the ship.
Nice.
It is a temporal operative primary with a command spec secondary. If memory serves me, that's actually a pretty good layout for a torpedo boat, but that's not exactly what we designed it for. But it might be something to consider, and you can always customize these ships however you want. Let's see the stats. Let's see, consoles 5.2.4. Focus on engineering and tactical. This is kind of a no nerds allowed ship. It only has one.
It has extra wedgie stations and lockers for shoving.
And swirlies.
Yes.
Swirly toilet stations.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're being told that you're wrong and it's not good for torpedo builds, Jeremy. I just wanted you to make sure you know that you're wrong.
That's fine.
I'm a good friend. So what's the trait like?
So the trait is just a pretty straightforward name, broadside beam support. During fire at will or beam overload, you fire additional beams along your broadsides. So activating the modes, you don't have to fire weapons. It's just they automatically, periodically shoot at stuff in your side 90-degree arcs, as long as you're in fire at will or beam overload mode, which you're probably going to be doing a lot of anyway if you're actually flying this as a broadsider. So it's essentially just extra free weapons. I believe, if I remember correctly, some of the conversations I had with the designer of this ship, these weapons scale with like weapon skill, but I don't think that they scale with all sources of like plus weapon damage because they're not technically a weapon. So you'll have to figure out the scaling all on your own. I don't remember it completely offhand.
Okay, cool.
But we tried to still make them pretty performant.
Nice.
Up to snuff with other starship traits at the very minimum.
So we just dropped into an ad break. So I'm going to, before we look at the console, let's go with, I was going to see if I could come up with another question that isn't quite as important so quick. But
I saw one, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
Just because we paused. Mark 9 Hawk has asked, was it not possible to code an additional shot of damage type per firing cycle? Like based on what you have equipped is I think what they were asking for. And I can say, yeah, that's not something we can easily do. But not something we can do at all at current. So I like to say, everything's possible in the engine. It's just a matter of how much time you want to spend actually, investing in the coding and the setup and everything. And is it worth it in the end? Nah, they're just free phaser shots. I know that'll synergize more with if you have an actual phaser build, but they can still put out some punch.
Yeah.
It's free damage in a starship trait slot too, which is not terribly common.
To answer a question that came up in chat, yes, there didn't used to be ads on official Cryptic streams, and I assume when official Cryptic streams come back, there will not be ads on those either. But I'm no longer employed by Cryptic, and I am making money off the stream, and would like to make enough money to buy some groceries, if at all possible,
or a ship bundle,
Yeah. All right, we're back. Tell us about that console. Oh, also, sorry, somebody asked, what are the visuals on that side phaser from the trait?
Let me push my enemy button and see what's going on.
Do you have the trait equipped?
Good question. I also have to give myself fire at will. There. To activate it, and then activate the trait. Don't need mines. Broadside beams. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Turn off auto fire.
Oh, thank you very much for the subscription, Wenlock. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Yep, it's pulse phaser.
Yeah, that's pulse phasers.
Yep. Salty Shepherd said everything in the bundle is pulse phaser, but that's actually kind of cool because even if you've got different kinds, if you've got those long beams that'll like the traditional beams, that'll look really neat to have the extra like. That's a technical term, sound effect.
I think also the trait might be using the old pulse phaser visuals, so you can actually tell them apart.
Oh yeah,
there's a mix of visuals here going on.
Neat.
I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's what it is.
No, I don't think those were. Yeah, that looks like that wasn't updated. All right.
Well, too late
that
now.
Might
Gotta
be
leave
changing.
it like that forever.
Okay, so the console is also a broadsider. This is essentially just turn it on and you go nuts. Kind of like it was shown on the trailer, just a barrage of weapons fire in both directions. This does not require you to be firing your weapons. So if I just click the button, there it goes.
Damn.
Just fills your left and right 90-degree firing arc with damage.
Now, can we add a Last Starfighter style spin to this effect?
Can we? Maybe.
Will we? No. Oh, that looks so cool, though.
Getting these extra little ambient, like flak cannon shots in there was actually surprisingly difficult, from what I'm told by our effects artists.
Oh, yeah?
But I'm glad they were able to pull it off.
Well, it looks awesome. It's really, really cool. Our effects artists always do such a bang-up job on this game. I keep saying our, like I'm still working on the game. Sorry, your effects artists do a bang-up job on this game.
Mine!
All yours! All right, so you said this was designed, in the basic early design stages, was thought of as a broadside cannon kind of ship. As such, were there any other touches that you put on, or that were put on the design that led themselves to that as well, like in terms of like turn speed or?
Yeah, compared to other battlecruiser, I think it's on the higher end of turn speed, but the lower end of impulse modifiers, so that you can bring your guns to bear properly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's not a huge swing. Like, it's still a battlecruiser. It still falls in the pocket of what you would expect a battlecruiser to be designed as, with the exception of the weapon layout being a 4-4 instead of the more traditional 5-3.
Yeah,
I think that's the only thing that really stands out about the design in that regard.
Nice.
Whenever we make a new starship, we have to go through this process of pulling up the most popular or the most suitable ships within a particular target of what we think this ship that we're making will eventually be compared to by players, and then making sure it compares favorably, that it's a little better than some of them in some areas, a little worse than others in some areas. And that whole process is a several day process of just digging through the catalog looking for appropriate comparisons. But that ends up with most of our new ships don't really break the mold in every way. They might do it in one small way, but that's by design. While a game of this age is going to have some sort of power creep, we want to make sure that not every ship that we're putting out is just breaking the mold every time over and over again, because then old ships don't sell, and we need them to. Yeah.
All right. Well, Torio said, I hope I pronounced that right, that we need Oberth wingmen for all of these ships. Actually, every ship in the game already has Oberth wingmen. They're just constantly spawning and exploding so fast that you can't see it. So you've already got that. That feature is in game. All right. Well, is there any other fun little details that we want to say about this particular ship?
I just want to say that the ship designer, the systems designer that made the ship, Mayo, is really proud of it. So everybody shower him with praise if you love the ship.
Yes.
Please.
Go tell him how amazing he is. Everywhere. Folks are asking some more.
He made one of the other ships in the bundle, but I don't remember which one. I just know that he's really proud of this one.
Folks who are asking more general questions in chat, we're gonna do a general Q&A-ish section at the end. I'm not gonna ask any of your mean questions, but I'll ask the good questions. So if you've got those, save them for the end. I will throw a more open question format in at the end. Let's see. Nick NB wants to know if you can add the Vengeance console to this and fire both at the same time. You want him to do that on stream so you can see it. I'm probably too hard to look that up right now.
No, but you can use them together. That was something that we did test out.
Excellent. One step closer to our canonically accurate scimitar.
Well, and that's another thing. Like, just like I was saying, if we compare the ships together, if we have a concept for a console, we have to make sure that we go through our catalog and make sure we're not directly repeating ourselves. So in this particular console's case, I know that the Vengeance console was something that Maya looked at specifically to make sure that this behaves a little bit differently and has maybe a slightly different design niche or visual niche, whatever the case might be, just so we're not exactly copying ourselves whenever we release new stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So we got another redemption for the victories of Sompek dance. So anyone who wants to join me, 3, 2, 1. Oh, thank you very much for the follow, Darren Najib. All right. Let us. Oh, Mayo is watching via the Deca watch party. So everyone just tell him in chat how amazing he is. All right. Let's go on to the next ship.
I hope y'all are
show me the Shangri-La.
Enjoying some of the dev hacks that I'm showing off.
Oh yeah, well. I think it's okay that we show them because they can't use them.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the design of this ship, Thomas.
The Shangri-La. It is was originally designed by Bill Krause. It is about a Constitution 2 sized ship, a little smaller, a little shorter neck. Bill Krause designed this back in the 90s, I think, as a scratch-built studio scale, studio quality miniature. Bill is an amazing model maker. Physical models, like actual physical models. He saw a lot of people making models that were, kind of like pretty derivative, like just taking the saucer of the Enterprise and sticking an extra nacelle on or whatever. And so he wanted to do something that felt more scratch-built. So he scratch-built the hull there. I think maybe he started with a 1-350 kit on the saucer, but then, cut a lot out and did a lot of really custom
work. What was that term you just used? Is that like model maker's code? The 153?
1-350 scale. Yeah, so that means 1 inch is 350 inches, I think.
There's probably people that know that. I just never heard of that.
Yeah.
Terms thrown around out here.
Right. So, so Bill made this ship, and it showed up in a couple official Star Trek calendars, like Star Trek Ships of the Line calendar series, which is a great series with lots of fun ship art in it.
Do you know anybody who's had ship art in those calendars, Thomas?
I have had art in those calendars, and
so
I think
Donnie.
Donnie has too. And somebody else on this call might eventually have some as well.
Ooh.
So,
pardon my
don't worry, it happens to lots of starships.
So, come Star Trek Picard season 2, Bill Krause is actually hired to make a model for the Stargazer briefing lounge. So the tradition is on the observation lounge that you have models of the previous ships in that lineage of the past USS Stargazers. And so Bill made a TOS model. I think he might have even made the Constellation model they used too. The Radiant class, which is like a TOS version of the four nacelle Stargazer, and so they used that prop in Picard season 2, and then in Picard season 3, they needed a new hero ship, and Terry Matalas, the showrunner for Picard season 3, was a big fan of Bill's work, and he was a big fan of the Shangri-La, this design here, and so that long story long became the inspiration for the Constitution 3 that Bill Krause worked with Doug Drexler, and they took this design, they took the Shangri-La design, and they swapped out the nacelles for the Sagan style nacelles, and then they did some other tweaks to the design to kind of update it to the Picard era. And so we've had the Constitution 3, which was used by as the Titan A and later the Enterprise G. In Picard season 3, we've had that in the game for a while, but I'm really excited now to finally get the inspiration to all of that, the Shangri-La, into Star Trek Online, and it's canon. I mean, the Shangri-La was made canon by the fact that it was also one of those models in the observation lounge on the Titan A. You see the Titan A, you see the gold plated Titan A Constitution 3 class. You see the Luna class Titan, and then you see an older USS Titan that is a Shangri-La class, from the motion picture era. So, so that means that we could, put it in STO. And I also want to shout out to Howie Day, who's an amazing artist. He's a professional game developer who does kind of fun fan art on the side, and he makes studio quality CG assets. And he did an incredible model of the Shangri-La that we reached out to him to use as reference for this model as well. And then Tobias made the in-game model for this. And Keen, did you intake it, or was this also Ramon? Yeah, Ramon did the intake on this guy. So so that's the Shangri-La. It is on the Constitution skeleton, so you can swap parts with any of the cruiser variants in that skeleton. If you have the tier 5 Connie, you can have the TOS parts or the phase 2 parts.
Nice.
Swap all those things out. I don't think this character probably doesn't have access to the TOS Connie. But
I thought the TOS Connie was the first thing that popped up. Oh no, that's the TMP Connie. Sorry.
Yeah. Right. So but I will say this will be the first tier 6 C-Store ship that has access to that Constitution refit skin, and that comes with the ship.
That's awesome.
The bundle also comes with the Exeter, which might not be in here because you just granted yourself the ship. But the Exeter is originally it was our $5 upgraded tier 2 Constitution, and then we moved it to the Lithium store. So now if you buy this bundle and you don't have the Exeter already through other means, you'll get that as an account unlock, and you'll be able to use that skin on the ship again as a good 25th century alternative if you're not wild about the TMP Shangri-La aesthetic.
Very cool. I love this design of the ship. I love what you just said too, that this is a fan created physical model that got turned into a physical model on a Star Trek set that got then turned into a CG model by a different fan that then got referenced by us to get turned into a different CG model to get intake into the game to create the model we see before us.
Yep, that's the journey.
That's incredible. That's Star Trek, baby. Very, very cool. I love the design. I actually think I'm not the super connoisseur of the differences in Star Trek ships, but I feel like I like this a little more than the one that Titan A ended up being. It seems to fit really well with itself and bridge a lot of eras together, which is cool.
Yeah, it's got a lot of great detail, and I love the triple torpedo launcher, and that became kind of what we glommed onto for the console. It was important to me. It's such a prominent feature of the ship. It was important to me that we really lean into that in a really cool way. So I guess that's a good. Oh, and we don't have to show people, but like the other ships, these team piece ships, this will have other nacelle options. So you'll have unlit, the unlit I think is default, and then the fully blue lit, and then blue and red lit nacelles will be an option for this.
But Thomas, the ship is already lit.
So with that, I'll go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy, tell us about the design philosophy of the ship.
Okay. Well, as Thomas already mentioned, this triple prominent torpedo launcher did a lot of lifting for us in terms of inspiration on the design side. We will get to the console in a moment and see how that inspired its functionality, but also it just in general. Such a prominent weapon emplacement made us think it had to be something that focused a bit more on an offensive stance. So we ended up making this into a a command warship. So command primary seating with a pilot secondary seating, and very much focused on being a frontline fighter. Really just designed to take it to the enemy. A bit of an all-arounder in terms of like maneuverability. It's as I mentioned with the other ships, it's in the pocket of what you would expect from a warship. But just the inspiration to make it a warship sprung a lot from the artwork in this case. Also, the lower, shorter neck just gives it a little bit more of an offensive feeling, like forward stance. Those huge impulse engines. I think we might have juiced its speed a little bit because of those awesome angry
gigantic
impulse. Yeah,
and that would also explain why the pilot secondary was what you guys leaned into then, because fast
Yeah,
engine go fast.
Yep. Yeah. So, let's get to the console because it's a triple torpedo launcher inspired, just ball of pain. So what this does is it launches multiple salvos of 3 different types of torpedoes. The first hit will drop the target shields. The second hit will hit them hard now that their shields are down with kinetic damage, and the third hit hits them again, but also their friends.
Oh.
And it's pretty. So those are the shield droppers, and then the kinetics, and then the AoEs.
Oh, that's cool.
These enemies are a little too spread apart. You want to probably try to clump your enemies for this.
But something like a Herc Swarmer will be in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Out of curiosity, what happens if the ship dies during the second salvo of torpedoes? Do the third one still go off where it was?
I'm pretty sure, yes, they will continue to fly towards the now dying entity, and
those are entities, right? Those torpedoes are.
I think so. I'm afraid I don't remember for certain, but I think so. Yeah. So they'll just find a target and keep flying towards it.
Yeah. Augie says we're putting a whole torp build into a console effect. Yep, exactly.
This might. Well, okay. So I mentioned the other layout might be good for torpedoes. I might have been wrong. That this might have been the ship I was thinking about. I don't remember if this is like the perfect torpedo layout, but I remember with one of these ships we at least discussed that it could be used as a torpedo build. Now that I'm remembering, the torpedo launchers on this, maybe this is the ship that we were talking about for that.
Okay. And what about the trait on this bad boy?
Now, what about the trait?
Let's see. The trait?
What is it? So this is pretty straightforward. Now I remember. We decided to just make this one real simple, but hopefully something that players would be interested in. If activating evasive maneuvers gives you firing cycle haste, a pretty good chunk too. 25% is respectable. Nice. I don't remember how long it lasts, but I think it lasts as long as evasive maneuvers is active, which I think is up to like 20, 30 seconds. So yeah, pretty straightforward.
Fly faster and shoot faster.
Fly faster and shoot faster. Yep.
Very, very neat. All right. Was there anything else about this ship or the design of her? I am curious how Command Pilot kind of flies. What's the? Have you played with her at all? Do you know what she kind of feels like?
No, not really. Command is usually a lot about like team support as well as like local area denial and area control. So, but it also has the very famous, some might even say infamous, concentrate firepower, which is really, I think, the purpose that this particular ship might have the command seat for, where you mark a target and anybody that shoots it with a torpedo gets a free high yield torpedo. So it's kind of a team boosting, more torpedoes, more heavy firepower, sort of focus on that. I think that's
Nice.
what the command seating was intended for on this ship, if I remember the design correctly. Yeah. And as for the pilot secondary, I think you were, if I remember correctly, it was inspired pretty heavily by. It just looks like a really angry, maneuverable, streamlined ship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's what a lot of pilot seating is about.
If you zoom in on the back of the saucer, you'll see that it's lined with. I mean, it has the giant impulse engines, obviously, but it's also there are a lot of little white dots. Those are all thrusters.
Oh damn.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Maneuvering
those are
thrusters,
yeah, those are all maneuvering thrusters. So it made sense that it was like they wanted something that was like that could do the damage of a Constitution, but also be more maneuverable, which is kind of cool. So
I've always wanted to
yeah,
throw
I think
together a
the
torp
stats
boat.
really matched.
I've always wanted to go throw together a torp boat. This might be the ship that convinces me to do it.
Yeah, could be. I know that there are aspects to the ship that are good for it. I don't know if it's like the perfect torp boat, but yeah, I think it could do the job most likely.
Nice.
Unless somebody in the chat is telling me I'm wrong again.
All right. Well, I think this is the last of the ship, like full new ships in the bundle, but we have some other stuff to talk about, right, Thomas?
Yeah, so really quick, Jeremy, if you could just change your costume, I think is the easiest way to do it. I just want to show people the updated TOS Constitution.
Oh yeah.
So just FC1 Type 5.
I still can't believe you can remember all of those ship names off the top of your head. It's wild.
So this is the same, this comes with a new Type 0A material. The original model, or the previous model, it's not the original one of the game, but the previous model had all the detail and stuff was in the right place. It just basically needed more polygons. I had to tighten up the graphics. And so that's what I did. So this is it's cleaned up. It's got it's rounder. I think unless you really pay attention to the models and how they look, it might be a little hard to tell. The biggest difference you're going to see is the material. Also, the unwrapping, the UV unwrapping on this got changed a little bit, so it'll work better with other materials now. I know people complained about how the material was unwrapped on the nacelles before on the previous remaster. So but it was important to me to get this in while we were doing the work on the Shangri-La, clean this up, and the Pioneer. And so yeah, this should be going live today with the bundle. And it's just it's if you have any version of the TOS Connie, even the Tier 0 one, it'll be available on that. And it'll automatically replace the model there. You will have to go in and apply the preset like you normally do. But yeah, I'm just always pleased to get Star Trek's first Enterprise, original Enterprise, a bit of spit and polish and match the look of the Smithsonian Restoration, which is a beautiful piece. If you ever get a chance to see it in person, yeah, it's a religious experience. It was for me, but that shouldn't surprise anybody. The other thing I wanted to show off is the Theseus,
which I've got for
Theseus.
you. I've got the pictures you wanted me to show.
Yeah.
Do you want to see the comic art or the other one first?
Go ahead. Yeah, throw the comic art up there.
Okay, cool. It's up.
Awesome. So this is the USS Theseus. This originated in the IDW Year 5 comic. I think this happened kind of at the end of the comic, that comic run. It's right before V'ger shows up. This is the end of the original 5-year mission of the Enterprise, and so they come back to Starfleet and they see this giant cool Theseus ship in the TMP aesthetic. And so in 2023 we added the Theseus from IDW, the TNG era, the Cisco's version of the ship. We added that to Star Trek Online as a lockbox ship. And for the TMP bundle, I thought it'd be really cool to give this. We always include a lockbox ship with the ships, and wanted to do something that was thematically appropriate because the Theseus originally showed up in the TMP era. It seemed like a good fit, and so we wanted to have bring that version of the ship to life. We already have the TNG era, but now we wanted to do the TMP era. And so Jamie Armstrong, also known as Scorpion Design, did an incredible job taking that one. There were like 1 or 2 images from the comic book. I think we had 2 images from the comic book of the original TMP version of the Theseus. We're calling it the Theseus prototype. So they took that and kind of refined it, updated it, imagined the whole thing. And then Tobias Richter, there you go.
Yeah.
Tobias Richter created the final in-game model for us, and I'm really pleased with it. I think it looks great. It's a really cool addition to that era. It's cool. I love collaborating with IDW and making the Star Trek universe connected and bigger.
Yeah.
And then this is a really cool render that Jamie just did today. In fact, getting all the just kind of recreating that panel from the comic with their Theseus design. And so yeah.
It's beautiful.
There's that. Yeah.
Suna, if you are the dear counselor, if you are watching, please release that as wallpaper. People are going to want it so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you that skin is exclusive to the bundle. You get the Theseus as an account unlock with that skin, but to get that skin, you have to buy the bundle. The bundle
so if you
also
buy the
includes
ships by their on their own in the C store, you will not get that skin. Just to be super duper clear.
Right. The other skins do come with those individual ships, like the kind of like what we did with the Discovery era ships. But that Theseus skin is a bundle perk. But again, it's an account unlock for that ship, so you will get it's a lockbox ship you'll be able to get on any character in your account. The last thing I wanted to talk about bundle exclusives wise, we can't really show it because we're on a space map, but we also get Kirk's phaser from Star Trek 3. And that will be reclaimable, so you can get as many as you need for your bridge officers. Jeremy and our effects artist Andrew Nielsen worked really hard to get that really cool knockback effect on that weapon, so it looks just like it does in the Search for Spock. And then also a bundle exclusive is the dorky Starfleet security football uniforms. First seen in Star Trek the Motion Picture, and then later used, I think, in Star Trek 3 and some of the other movies. But it's got the helmet and the big chest piece, and they're tintable, so you can tint them to be either how they were in the motion picture or in the Star Trek 3 or in any of the other films. So so it's a lot of great motion picture era stuff, plus all the the usual consumables, upgrades, all that stuff is in the bundle as well. So it's a great time for TMP fans, but like I said before, we also trying to include a lot of stuff that if even TMP isn't your era, you still got some great alternatives with these ships, and we hope you like the stats and want to fly them.
Thomas, I'm curious for you to wax philosophical for a bit. Why is the motion picture era your favorite design era in Trek?
I think that's a good question. It's inspired heavily by Art Deco. There are a lot of it's got you think about things like the golden ratio, all these ratios that you see in nature, that's very heavily imbued in the Art Deco aesthetic. And so you apply that aesthetic to anything and it looks good. I mean, there are trains from the 1930s that were built in the Art Deco aesthetic that look incredible and beautiful. And I think it works for Star Trek starships. I think the other thing too is because that aesthetic feels very grand and optimistic, it really captures the Star Trek ethos to me in a visual way. I've heard someone describe Star Trek ships, and specifically Starfleet ships, as cathedrals of light, which I really like, because they're the motion picture era ships are bright, bright white. That's this beautiful pearlescent shine on them. They're self-illuminating. They have some really nice blue accents and everything, but they are sort of a physical aesthetic manifestation of hope, of goodness, of sincerity, and determination that I feel like captures the Star Trek spirit in a way that resonates with me. And so yeah, that's why I like that aesthetic the best.
Nice. All right. So the last thing to talk about here, before we, I think it's the last thing to talk about, correct me if I'm wrong, is that I think we should look at the trailer one more time, with Pundus giving us a little bit of a talk through, Pundus and Thomas, of how the trailer worked and what you guys put into it. I am going to play it without sound. I know you're going to have to watch it on stream, Pundus, because I don't have my screen shared with you. But why don't we do that? Why don't we take a look and just give us your thoughts on whatever before we dive in completely. Can you tell us a little bit about sort of the pre-production of this trailer, what your ideas were for it, what you guys were aiming for with it?
This was an interesting exercise because with the Heritage Bundle, I mean, first of all, let's start with the Heritage Bundle trailer, which was wildly successful. People loved the Heritage Bundle and they loved the trailer, and the trailer also for the Heritage Bundle helped people who didn't have that nostalgia. They still like saw that trailer and were like, oh, these ships are really cool. It helped to introduce them to people. And I felt that for these TMP era ships, it was also going to be important to make that introduction because they're they're either obscure or they're ships that kind of like the Pioneer we came up with. And so if you just say to somebody who's a Star Trek fan but isn't like super into STO, oh cool, a TMP Pioneer, they wouldn't know what you meant. But if you show them in the trailer this beautiful sweeping thing that also calls back to the motion picture, the reveal of the Enterprise, and I wanted to start there with the Pioneer because that was something that people have been asking for a long time. So I thought it'd be cool to get in really tight with it, and have the panning shots in space dock like the motion picture scene. But then you pull back and you realize, oh, it's not the Enterprise, it's the Pioneer. And Keen executed that beautifully. And that was but then from there, we kind of had a blank slate because with the Heritage Bundle trailer, we were calling back to very specific, scenes from those games or those trailers for those games or intro movies for those games. We were just recreating in STO, but we couldn't do that for this one. I needed to come up with new scenes that showed off what each of these ships was good at, and what made them cool. And so, and also I didn't want it to be just Klingons the whole time. So I had to find, so I wanted each ship to be kind of have a different foe. And that's why we landed on the Romulans, Orions, and then Klingons, because not only should we have different foes, but we needed something that at least sort of era appropriate ship for them to use. And that's what I feel really lucky that we just got that Strange New Worlds Orion ship, because I think that works well enough. And then the Delan Warbird that we use for the Romulans, I've always seen that as a TMP era ship. Other people might not agree with me, but in my headcanon, that ship, even though it's in STO, I've always seen it as a TMP era Romulan ship. So the only change we made to that was to give it the veteran Romulan material, to make it kind of white. Which is how the Romulan ships looked in Starfleet Command 2. So that was another nod to that game. But there's been no work or remastering or anything done on Delan. That was just to kind of feature it for this trailer. If you have a lifetime sub, you can use that material on your Delan and make it look just like it does in the trailer. So I think that's and then of course the Shangri-La was, I wanted to have that big kind of a rescue moment, and the subtext to the whole trailer, of course, or the end of the trailer is, if you buy this bundle, you too can defeat the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, so of course, that's how it works.
So yep. So with that, I think we can go and start and kind of
let's go ahead and start. You could probably see it in chat. It looks like the servers are back up, so everybody keep the stream running to watch this commentary. But perfect timing on those servers going up, by the way. I wish the conspiracies were true and I controlled over when the servers went up and down. But while we're doing that
was the most insane thing I heard today.
They delayed the launch to help me. They don't even like me that much. No one likes me that much.
I like you, Mike, but you're right. I don't like you that
much. You shouldn't. All right, so we're gonna throw up the trailer here. Pundits, give us some commentary while we're going. Folks,
delay, that's gonna be a bit weird though.
yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's not gonna be perfect. But we'll do the best we
I can roll with it.
In the 23rd century. Oh, wait, hold on. Ads. We're stopping to wait for ads to
no.
finish. We got an ad break that's gonna last 1 minute. So while we're waiting that 1 minute, Pundits, talk a little bit about your process of putting this together. Obviously, you're no stranger to putting together epic starship shots in programs like Blender. What was the process on this?
Yeah, so it started out with the storyboards, which Thomas did. He sketched out photoshopped together a bunch of scenes that he wanted to capture for each of the moments that he mentioned. So I used that as a basis, and I basically animated it as I would have back in X-Astris. I suppose that's why Thomas asked me to do this, because in X-Astris, he gave me the opportunity over the course of 5 episodes to build up my skill as an animator, specifically of starships. So I took what I learned and I ran with it. A lot of the pre-production involved capturing the aesthetic of the motion picture era, because a lot of it comes down to the color grading and how things get processed after rendering. There's film grain, really subtle chromatic aberration. So for the first lot of it, it was me taking the Shangri-La, referencing the TNP era movies, and basically rendering something out, adding post-processing on it, comparing it, and then showing it to Thomas to see if he approved of it or if there was something I missed. And after that, it was down to animating the shots. I did the first 2 scenes myself with polish by Weston, who does STO's cutscenes. He's also an experienced animator in Blender. And I moved on to scene 3 and 4. I did initial animation for them and passed them on to Paul, who is an animator here at Decca, and he finished them up to final. And then I went back, and after Weston did another polish pass across all 4 scenes, I added all of the visual effects. Some of them I made myself. Some of them were provided by Thomas, who got them from Skyforge. The explosion specifically, which looked fantastic and matched the era perfectly. And so it was just like a month long straight of just rendering, processing, showing it to Thomas, and iterating on it until the trailer dropped.
Nice. Jeremy, I think if you stop sharing and I start sharing, we can do this so Pundits can actually see it live and comment on it. So it's going to break everything for half a second. Hopefully not for much longer.
Well, while you're saying that, I want to say that it was a lot of fun. So when as Keen is rendering up finals, we have some temp shots that I'm editing with, and then I had to dig through basically like every sound file in the game looking for VO to use for this. So all of VO. So with the Heritage Bundle trailer, we had Dave Rivas come in and actually do some new VO dialogue as Sean, which was a lot of fun. But I wanted a bigger cast for this one because we had 4 different ships, and it just I just wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to tell a little bit of a story with each scene and keep it isolated. And so I thought, well, we have 14, 15 years worth of VO. There's got to be enough in there to use, and there was just enough. There was just enough like specific moments that worked for the trailer. And it was fun putting that together. But yeah, it was all existing. It's all existing STO VO.
I didn't know that. I thought that was all new. That's really cool.
No, it's all like the Pioneer stuff. That's from the Fed tutorial. There's some Tanae stuff that I think is from the defensive Vulcan mission. Some Starbase, Starbase 1 stuff. Just all over the place. And I think I lost my train of thought. But anyway, it was a project, and because this was all pre-rendered in Blender, we didn't get any of the sound for free. Like some of the audio in the Heritage Bundle trailer was just playing the.
Oh no!
Oh no!
We lost Thomas. All right. Well, we're gonna start playing the trailer for Pundits to comment over. Let me know if you can see it. Okay. Yeah.
One Net Gallery comment, real quick. My favorite line. I don't know why it tickles me so much. Explosions courtesy of.
Yeah.
Right when this.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sorry, Chad. It's too bad that Thomas suddenly had to go back to his home planet. But all right, let's play through this.
I'll steal some of Thomas's thunder here too. Like those Skyforge films, they're specifically like modeled to look like the old ILM pyrotechnic explosions. That's why we went and sought them out.
Your orders, Captain.
One thing you'll notice is that
clearance
the
from
dry dock
control
in the
and close
background
the
is
shuttle bay
new.
door.
It was done by Tobias because the current dry docks we have in game don't look that great. I don't know if this will be coming to the game anytime soon, since that's environment art and out of my purview. Also, the Earth in the background, that's I basically went into the new Sol System map and flew all the way out and took a screenshot of Earth because I didn't want to bother to try and render realistic Earth for that.
That's amazing. That's a neat
It's on the
hack.
model.
Yeah. Thanks to Nick the Good for that.
Yeah.
The Theseus was the last ship that was done for the bundle, so Thomas and I wanted to give a little cameo to it, so it flies past the Pioneer near the end of that first scene. One thing that you'll notice that was a pain in the ass to figure out, but once I did, it was really smooth sailing, is if you watched all the old Star Trek movies carefully, you'll notice that the stars in the background have a bit of parallaxing. They don't all move at the same rate. And so I found a way to really get that effect in Blender. And it turned out really well because it's such a subtle thing that really emphasizes how much it is like the old movies.
Yeah, really
and
sells
that's
it.
the shot of There's a shot of the hangar that we barely see.
I love those kind of little details like the Starfield, because I would never have noticed. But once I see it, now that you mention it, I love that it's there, and it does add so much to the aesthetic. Like it does make it feel more appropriate to the era.
Yeah,
that's great.
Did you? It looked like those Romulan ships were breaking apart as they exploded. Did you actually break the models apart to do that?
Since STO ships have customization built in, so I just pulled apart the parts that would have customized and hit the weird parts where there would be holes and stuff with explosions on top of it. So it looked good enough.
Looked good to me.
Yeah. I love this ship so much. This and the Ark and the last, actually all the ships in this bundle make me want to start a new Federation build. It's fun having learned about all the abilities and now see what how they inspired the video. Can you talk a little bit about that?
But I think Keen was only given a basic understanding of what the ships were going to be able to do. When he had to start rendering.
Yeah, Thomas basically outlined that Corala was going to do broadside, so he sketched out we wanted to do broadsides like that, and Shangri-La pretty much from the start torpedoes, so torpedoes later on. I like that we used the loot boxes for the loot critters for the mines.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, Ramona, I do sometimes play Federation, but yeah, I'm a Klingon through and through, which, and now the beautiful ships have finally entered the chat.
Wait, okay, pause.
Pause.
I want to talk about the Kobayashi Maru plasma plume there.
Yeah.
Did you have to invent those visual effects as well? Like, what are you doing there?
In STO, we have that one generic visual effect of a plasma fire. So
I just wasn't sure if you were able to export it or pull it out of the game, or if you had to create that.
I just emulated it as closely as I could, and as well as the electric sparks, like in STO, when engines disabled, there's the blue sparks. I made it green for here because plasma, but I just tried to emulate as close as I could to STO. Those are a combination of stock assets that I bought and my own doing.
So what you're saying is you're an effects artist as well.
I mean, he basically single-handedly made a short film here. Is
an
what
animator, he's a VFX artist. Yeah, we'll be sure to give you more work. Your reward for making this so awesome is more work.
There's the prettiest ships in Star Trek.
I mean, speaking of effects, those warp effects have to be done in post, so it's not something that
you can put in
is in engine or anything.
Yeah,
it's just compositing.
I love doing warp in effects. That was always my favorite part of doing the bundle teasers, was
Mm.
figuring out how to make things look like they were warping in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if you were with us earlier, Pundus, but like everybody was really, oh, can we
Yeah,
get those
I
pretty
saw.
warp-in effects?
Yeah, everyone wants them.
So now you've raised the bar.
now you have to do them. Yeah. I'm curious about that shot. I'm gonna go back a little bit. I'm curious about that shot where there's so
Yeah.
many ships on screen fighting. It was this one, I think. Where you see like all the birds of prey and the fighters coming in. It's maybe not that one. Maybe it was this one. Like how do you get all of that stuff looking like it's flying through space, like it's at the correct distances, like it's all moving the right speeds? How much effort is that, and what sort of stuff do you have to do to make it work?
So for me, how I did it in Accessories and how I did it here was I would animate like in that shot we have a ship chasing, I think the Pioneer is chasing like a bird of prey or something. So I would animate those two individually first, and then once that is done, like since I had the storyboard, I would know where the other ships would be blocked out basically. So I would slowly piece together the scene like a puzzle and slowly add more ships in so their movement makes sense relative to each other and just iterate on that until it looks right.
Nice. Very cool. Any other cool tricks or exciting things that we can jump on before we wrap it up?
I have a
Anything
fun
else?
piece of little trivia.
Oh yeah.
We named the bundle like on Friday.
That is fun. That is very fun. I just messed everything up. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen again, just so that there's something shared, so that everybody's window goes back where it's supposed to. Okay, that's better. Cool. All right.
I mean, game dev can be hard, and sometimes you forget to name the bundle.
Sometimes, we can't be. You can't be expected to do everything. All right, that got messed up. Okay, so folks, we're gonna open it now to more general questions. Remember a couple of things. We have a game design director here, but that doesn't mean he worked specifically on everything. So don't expect Jeremy to know the answers to all of your questions right away. Stuff might have to be looked up or posted about later. We have a ship artist, and we're not going to be asking or answering any questions that are when a certain thing that hasn't been announced is coming to the game. As always, on 10 Forward, and now even more so on my stream, if you ask a question that's just blank when, I reserve the right to mock you mercilessly, and we'll do so without hesitation. So, with that in mind, we can go and throw some things. Remember, questions about the process of game development are going to be better than questions about when are we getting this thing, when are we getting that thing. That's just a boring stream. Nobody wants to watch that. So go ahead and fire them off, and I will keep a lookout for some thanks. Fluffle says, this isn't a question, but thanks for fixing the CSV turret bug. Initial testing is showing that my global accuracy is no longer flickering, so that's great.
Woo! Fixed.
Yeah. Let's see.
While you find some, can I ask one of Keen?
Sure.
Yeah.
So you were a fan of the game before coming to work here. I don't know if you know, but both Thomas and I have similar backgrounds there.
Yeah, I know you came from Stoked.
Yeah. When you joined the team and over the first couple of months or so, can you tell us one of the biggest surprises that you encountered in terms of the process or anything that came up? Of course, there's some things you probably can't talk about, but does anything come to mind as one of the big, wow, I had no idea when you joined the team?
I guess one thing is that I am nosy, and when I first got access to the drives that Cryptic had, I would just poke around in them and look at what was there. I'm not gonna say what was there, but I would just look at everything.
Nice.
And in terms of Starship specifically, it is I mentioned this earlier, but it is strangely insanely hard to add new windows to ships. It is an extremely tedious process. that requires you to manually create a bunch of data for each window that you want and each part that has a window. And it's extremely annoying and tedious, and yeah.
That sounds so much fun.
I've heard so many bugs over the years of there's a problem with the wind pods on this costume or
Yeah.
that costume. So, yeah.
Hunter Bahamut wants to know how many ships did you consider for the bundle before narrowing down on these 4? So not like, what ships, because I know you can't talk about that, but like what was sort of the broad range that got narrowed down to these 4?
I'll be honest, I think that we only probably bandied about no more than like 6 to 8 in total before we decided on these 4. And I don't want to comment on the others in detail of like what they were, because we might still do them in the future. I don't think that it was a very difficult decision because we were targeting a specific aesthetic. We knew we wanted to bring some games from bring some ships from other games in the IP as well. So there wasn't a huge catalog of options there at the first. And honestly, some of the first ships that we started thinking about were good choices. So we didn't have to look very far.
Nice. Ramona the Nerd wants to know, what was the inspiration to name the Exeter era Pioneer the Plymouth?
I don't know that. Do you, Keen?
No, it was Thomas's decision, I think. And
I have a feeling it's after Plymouth Rock.
Yep, that makes sense.
And
that's Plymouth is the whole town built around the rock. So a bunch of folks are asking about temporal recruitment. I'm not sure why that's become a thing. Temporal recruitment happens at the same time every year. So if you want to know when temporal recruitment is coming, look at when it happened last year. Let's see.
I hope that's still true.
Well, yeah, I hope that's still true, but I'm not an official employee anymore, so you can't hold it against me if it's not. Stu wants to know who to thank for making the Theseus part of the bundle.
That's Thomas.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty exclusively Thomas that wanted to.
Yeah,
like he
Thomas
mentioned when he was talking earlier, like he loves to do the comic tie-ins because it just makes the whole IP feel stronger and more connected. So yeah.
Thomas had myself and Scorp in, like, he dragged us into a group chat and we talked about what ship would be the best fit for the bonus logbox ship for a bundle. There were some other options floated, but the Theseus was the best fit.
Nice. Yep. All right. There was okay, so I'm rephrasing this question because the answer to it is no, but it leads to an interesting question, I think. If you all were going to pick non-Federation ships to put in another Heritage bundle, so ships that are from video games or other media but aren't Federation, what ships would you pick?
That's a really tough one for me because I'll be honest, I'm not a big Trek gamer. Over the years, I don't have a lot of things to steal from, but I think that it would be appropriate. Don't hold me to this. I know you will anyway, but I'll say it. Don't hold me to this. We've done so many Federation ships, and I know that a lot of those older video games had you doing war with the Klingons. So why don't we do some video game Klingon ships?
Yeah,
that's immediately what my mind goes to. Obviously, one of the big thing is we have a history of showing that Klingon ships don't sell as well, so then it becomes an argument over return on investment, but we won't go into that too much here.
Yeah. Looney Welsh suggests the Red Dwarf from Red Dwarf. Also, Fragrance, can we get a moderator to ban Fragrance? He's posting about a whale probe. Let's see. Let's see. I'm looking for more stuff that is an actual question and not when can I have this thing I want. Steve J 1701, I'll just answer that for Jeremy so he doesn't have to say it. The decision was made to have the bundle be only Federation ships because that's what sells. Period.
I mean, also there's such a great catalog of things that we know players want.
Yeah.
And from the previous games and from elsewhere in the IP, it's just kind of a no-brainer a lot of the time. Now that being said, I know that at least one of the options we talked about, value adds in addition to the bundle, was not fed. So those conversations still happen on occasion. It's just the context around them gets a little dicier, a little stickier to work your way through.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see. Duncan Idaho wants to know why you allowed him to kit bash the Shangri-La. Nothing good will come of this. Let's see. Do you know if FASA and Franz Josef ships are still tied up in legal weirdness and not able to be used? Trexpert wanted to know.
I don't know anything about that. That sounds like the kind of thing that Thomas would take
Yeah.
on. But I know he's in the chat, so maybe he'll answer. Keen, do you have any info on it? Know anything about that?
As far as I know, we can't use the Franz Josef designs, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Thomas just confirmed in chat.
Okay, great. No, we cannot use the Franz Josef stuff, but nothing about FASA. So, Thomas, if you know about that, throw FASA info in the chat too, please. Let's see. Jeremy, do you want to answer random questions about whether you'd consider adding certain items to the game? A bunch of people asking stuff. I'm not super inclined to ask it, but if you're inclined to answer it,
not here.
Let's keep that off.
Let's do that another day, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will answer one that I saw go by sometime in the past. People want to know what was causing the cannon scatter volley accuracy issue that finally got fixed today after years and years of being a live issue. Can I go into a big technical jargon?
Yes, always on my stream.
Okay, so the whole thing about the accuracy that is associated with cannon scatter volley is that it is an effect that is attached to another effect. So within our engine, one effect can be attached to another effect. That's just a simple relationship that you can call between two different abilities. So the accuracy gets attached to cannons while they are under scatter volley. Now, how that usually works is that they're what we call internally an inline enhancement, which means when it's attached, it will only affect the thing to which it is attached. And that's the default behavior of most things that you would when you take one effect and attach it to another. But there's also a flag that a designer that either has an oversight or copied from the wrong thing or just didn't know what the flag does, you can switch that behavior so that instead of attaching and only affecting that thing, it instead attaches and gets triggered by that thing and affects everything. So that's what was happening to the accuracy with scatter volley, was that it was properly attaching to scatter volley firing, but then it was flagged in such a way that it was, instead of just affecting that thing to which it was attached, it was getting triggered by that thing and affecting everything. It didn't have a duration, so it would only last a single frame. This is why people who are looking very closely at their combat logs would see it flicker on and off very rapidly. A single frame in our combat eval is, I think, somewhere around 0.2 of a second or less. So anything that doesn't have a duration lasts like what we internally just refer to as a frame of combat. It's a very tiny little window of time. But that also means that if you're firing multiple cannons under scatter volley all at the same time, that accuracy effect could also flicker upward and could like stack multiple times, and then it was just flickering all over the place. So it was actually a relatively simple fix. I just had to go in and find the flag that was set incorrectly and change it from false to true. Ta-da.
All right, I'm going to ask this one because I know you have a lot of experience with this system, Jeremy. Can you talk a little bit about the difficulty of and why it's so difficult to add new species to already existing factions?
There are multiple facets to this. One is the UI and the character creation process. It might not be immediately obvious, but character creation is not the game. It's a whole different thing. And getting new stuff plugged in there, like you're not logged into the game, you're not you're not a character yet at the point where you're creating a character, obviously, because you haven't created it yet. So so like in the context, I think some of this question comes up from the fact that we recently introduced like species changes. So it feels like something that it should be a little more accessible to be able to add more species. It's hard. Character creation is very hard to deal with. There's a lot going on there that is like back-end code and not so much designer-facing capability. So it becomes a whole different animal to try to add stuff to that. The bigger, or maybe not bigger, but another major concern is how our costumes are set up in the game. Each individual costume piece in the game, if I understand this correctly, and I'm not a character artist, so I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that they have to be like opted into. So if we were to create a new species, we have to both make that species capable of using each individual costume, therefore like cause that relationship between the new species and everything in our costume catalog.
And one by
in
one,
both directions.
you can't just select them all and say add.
I think there are categories, so it's not individual one by one, but it's close to that. And there are so many thousands and thousands of costume pieces in the engine at this point. That's a extremely tedious process. And again, it has to go both ways. Like the species has to say that it can use the costume, and the costume has to say that it's okay on the species. So all of those relationships have to be created for any new species that we try to set up. It's not impossible. It's just extremely time consuming. And I know that I harp on this a lot when I come on the streams, but return on investment, we're a small team.
Yep.
We can't afford to spend 6 weeks making a new species when we could instead be making a new set of costumes from a show that hasn't been released or something that are a better return on investment for existing players.
All right. Let's see. Gun Plus Steve, I actually don't know. Jeremy might know what bridges the ships in this bundle have access to. I don't know if we have a motion picture era bridge. We do. We have the Enterprise one, at least. I don't know if they have access to it, but y'all know from previous streams, there's not much chance of getting.
We didn't make any new bridges.
New bridges, yeah, for things because that's
so
again
they
return on
should
investment.
have access to whatever a standard Federation ship would have access to these days.
Yeah. KelMG96, that's the same answer to your question. Taking a species that already exists in the game and making it part of a second faction, or separate faction, is the exact same amount of work.
It's actually more work, because then we have to decide whether to create it from scratch or whether to copy it over and then figure out what shouldn't be in there.
What broke.
Those allowances. Like, take, for example, if we didn't already have Klingons on the Federation side, if we wanted to make Klingons available on Federation side, then we would have to make the decision of whether to start from scratch and do all of the hookups that I just talked about, or copy the Klingons from the Klingon side and then have to trim out a bunch of stuff because we don't want a Federation Klingon to be able to use, a Klingon typical warrior garb or something like that. Whatever our decisions might be in that regard, then it becomes, it's the same amount of work in either direction, because you're still creating an entirely new species in terms of like the data footprint in the engine.
I completely forgot that bridges were all unlocked. Thank you for reminding me, folks in chat. All right. Well, I'm going to say that we're reaching the point where a lot of the questions are bug requests and things like that. So rather than sitting here forever, I am going to say that we're going to take a quick break. We're about to start an ad break, so it's a perfect time for that. I'm going to run and use the bathroom and grab some water, and then we'll come back and play some STO together. But before I do all of that, Jeremy, Keen, and Thomas, who is in chat, thank you very much, all three of you, for coming and taking the time to come on the show, especially you, Pundus, who is, you really should be asleep right now. What are you doing? Also, chat wants to buy
4 a.m.
Chat wants to buy you a Starfleet panda suit, so you can talk to them about that. I really appreciate all of you coming on and spending your time, and I really appreciate again Counselor Suna for helping facilitate all this and making it all work. So thank you so much for that. I hope to have more STO guests on in the future. We'll see how that all goes, but if you folks are going to dip out right after this interview, which I know some of you in chat are, not you.
I am.
I know you are, but not you. To people in chat, if we're going to dip out right after this interview, just to give you a quick update, tomorrow we are going to be doing our first game audition for new regular game, which is going to be Dragon Age: The Veilguard. It's going to be my first console stream. We're going to see how that all works out. Technically my second. I did do a Mario Party stream that one time. And then Thursday of this week is going to be of this week. Let me open the right folder here. Thursday of this week, we're going to be playing War Thunder for the first time, also auditioning to see if it'll join the regular rotation. And Friday, we are going to be back to a good old friend of ours, which is Marvel Rivals. We're having a lot of fun with that and the new clone mode and some other stuff and playing with folks. So it's a good time. Come and hang out with us. We're here every weekday at noon. STO is on Mondays. So I hope you all will come back and join. Thank you to everybody who subscribed and who followed today. I hope to see you all tomorrow or Monday or at some point in the future. Really good hanging out with everybody. Live long and prosper. We'll be right back. Darn it, I said cool things, too. What I said was, hello, everybody. Oh, there's an ad break. Oh, life. All right, we're back. We're not muted anymore. I need to make sure y'all are getting the correct audio. You are, okay. I don't know why it's so peaky. Yes, I'll tell you all secrets. No, what I said, I'll wait the 40 seconds. In those 40 seconds until the ad comes back, I will show you all this because it's sitting next to me in every stream, and I don't know how often I've shown it off, but it's very pretty, isn't it? I got this before I even worked on Star Trek Online at my very first Star Trek convention. It was a tiny one in San Francisco, and we went to show it to my father-in-law. So I walked in the door and said, this is the smallest Star Trek convention I've ever seen in my life. And he walked in the door, having never been to a convention, and said, this is amazing. And then just sat in the panel room all day listening to the actors talk. It was pretty great. All right, ad break is over in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, from the ad break. So yeah, what I said when I was muted earlier was I just wanted to give another huge thank you to Counselor Sunna for hanging out in chat while I was on break and answering questions. And then I pointed out that you all were definitely going to thank her for that too, right? 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 Kids? I remember the days of being a community manager and feeling like people only ever wanted me for my bug reports. So just wanted to make sure that you show off your gratefulness as well. All right. Shall we play some Star Trek? What do you think? That's not right. That's not right. I'll get there. That's right. Don't make you cry. It's too late in the night. You already thanked and welcomed them from the start, Dexter. Well, I expect you to be excellent. I expect you all to be excellent. I expect excellence from all of you. Okay. Oh, you can hear me, but you can't hear the game sound. That's right. I need to fix that too. Now you can hear the game sound. I love that image. Suna, who did that that key art image? Because that's great. All right. Well, thank you very much, Arcade Flame Pony. That is wonderful. The empty camera holders are still up. Of course they are. I intended for them to be up, Disco. Now, when I'm looking at it in preview, it doesn't show me images like that, so I thank you for letting me know. There we go. All right, just me now. You're super premium, so no, that means you can use the you can use some exclusive emotes that you didn't have access to before, including a favorite of mine. I'll show you. It's called Community Management. Let's see. There's a supersize my sub. No, not modify. Isn't there a supersize my sub? Gigantify an emote. And it's this one. This one is called Community Management. And I think it's a subscriber-only one. All right. Let's do some stuff. What do you guys want to do? I appreciate all of you who stuck around after the interview. It looks about half of you did, which I love. Exactly, Sunna. That's when I first found that image. It's from American Gods, but I was like, oh yeah, that's what opening Twitter is like sometimes. That artwork was by Adria. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Everyone tell Adria how amazing she is, in case she's still watching. You're trying to find the new armor in your Taylor collection? Yeah, it is big. Fragrant, I don't know, Fragrance or Disco, are sounds back up? Let me know. Oh, so sorry, Disco. I don't know that song. I assume my first Sonic movie being the first live-action Sonic movie, but it's been so long. You have them off still? You can go ahead and turn them back on. We gotta leave sexy off. I got a copyright strike. Not strike, but a warning over on YouTube for sexy. I think we played a little bit too much of Careless Whisper on that one, but... Alright, well hello Freya. And hello... Zev. I love how quickly people find me on these things. Also, I love how cool my character looks. I wish I could go free cam on a regular character. Oh god, the Hypnotoad command should still be off. I haven't fixed that. You're Zev and I logged in next to you? Perfect. It makes it really easy to find me. Godless Whisper? Oh my god. Oh lord. Okay, we're gonna stop and message not stop, but we're gonna message Klingon Pop Warrior. So my chat gave me a Careless Whisper sound effect, and someone in chat just said, Careless Whisper. That's all yours. Have fun. Oh, do I? No, I do have the window open, don't I? Or did I close it? No, I have the notification window open. Not sure why that sound didn't play. Yeah, Hypnotoad needs to be a lot quieter and a whole lot shorter before we let that back in. All right, let's just do a quick random just to get started. I learned my lesson yesterday. No more elite randoms. Appreciate you, Fragrance. I'm sure you could see it on stream because I'm sharing the window. When Fragrance message or tags me now, I get a nice big giant mod message thing on there. Now, you guys aren't hearing sounds, right? Because I'm not. Oh, you know what?
Jury! Executioner!
Whoa! They all just played at once. There we go. Fixed it. I had to click a button. That's my bad.
Are about to overrun
Hey, this looks familiar. We just did this yesterday. Into cloak. Alright, I'm going to go over to Alpha to start with. I know that they're starting over there, but those guys are going to be dead before I ever get there. Well, I am probably the fastest ship here. I don't know. We'll find out. But yes, there are 2 League of Swords sound effects that y'all can put together at the same time. Or not at the same time, but y'all can find. If you can find the other one, Fragrance has already shown you the pizza. You can probably guess what the other one is. Oh yeah, I'm actually like way closer to these guys than I thought I was. I love flying a fast ship. This is the problem with every other type of ship and ship build in the game. Whenever somebody's like, oh, I should, whenever I feel like, oh, I should build a torp build, or I should build a beam boat, or, you know, I should fly my Vengeance once in a while. I end up being like, but I could fly a fast ship and do fast things. I just cloaked without hitting a cloak button. Did someone do that to me? Send power! Oh, fine. Guess I have to blow these guys up first. My Qatar is indeed the fastest of the team, statistically speaking. and otherwise. Do I have ship injuries? How did that happen? That must have happened last stream. Yep. Gonna have to slow down to send power, I guess. Dexter, you know terrible secrets? Secrets only the Sith knew.
Well done. The Jem'Hadar will help you deal with the Hurk. You'll want to bring the defense satellites back online.
Hey, glad you had fun, Ice Queen.
They'll
We'll
make
be
a
back
difference
tomorrow
when
at
the
noon,
main
so hope to
force
see you then.
arrives.
Alright. Now we've got to fix these towers, so we'll just come to a stop right here. Oh, that one's already done.
The satellite is back online. It will launch tractor mines against the Hurk ships.
But only if we go over there and hit it. I'm glad that our engineers can work while under fire sometimes. Dexter, I fully believe you could come up with an actual plan to destroy the world, actually. I was going to say I don't think you can destroy the world, but thinking on it further, no, I think you could come up with an actual plan for that. Pass. Pass. More tractor mines. Every time I see one of you that I'm friends with is named Patrick Stew, and every time I see that I go, what? Oh, right.
The last of the refugee ships are ready.
A fleet of your amber glances? Call the amber lamps. Oop, did not mean to barrel roll there.
Head to escape route Beta. Protect the refugee ships. Refugee ships heading down escape route Alpha. Protect them.
Sorry, Duncan. That's one of those things that they'll fix quick, though. I have a feeling, just based on how challenging it always seems to be, that getting things to be the right kind of unlock is a more difficult process than we might think. Oh, that's too bad, Rachel. But they'll get back on next week. I should do a team up with Priority Live. I'm Priority 1. I'm trying to reach out to more content creators.
Hurk ship spotted at escape route Gamma. Get over there.
If there's somebody you guys want to see me team up with, let me know. I noticed, I was looking at stats the other day, and I noticed that, you know, obviously the game that my viewers watch most is Star Trek Online, but a lot of you are watching Monster Hunter. Is that something you want to see me try on the stream?
Refugee ships heading down escape route Alpha. Protect them.
Winters already knows me, Rachel. We've worked together before. Is there a streamer named the Batman, or are you just randomly saying I'd make a good Robin? Because yes, I would. I'd make an excellent Robin. Oh no. I don't know if that's because Dexter thinks I'm going to die at Monster Hunter, or if he just thinks I'm ripe for the plucking. I don't know how you would even say that.
Head to escape route Beta.
Rachel.
Protect the refugee ships.
Rachel. Of course I know what fleet you're in. Every time that fleet raids me, you come into my stream and talk about how you're in that fleet. Don't worry, I am well aware.
Herc's ship spotted.
Damn it,
at
Fragrance.
escape route Gamma. Get over there. Of the refuge.
Wonder if anybody's ever soloed Swarm. That's a stupid question. People have soloed Swarm. I wonder how many people have done it effectively.
Herc's ship spotted at escape route Gamma. Get over there.
Yeah, Duncan, I've had a similar problem. I really want to like Monster Hunter, and every time I've tried to play it, it just hasn't grabbed me, and I don't really know why. I have a friend who I want to stream with who's playing it a lot right now, so I might buy it to do that. Basically, tomorrow I'm going to get my next Twitch paycheck, and it's big enough that I can buy a couple of video games. I just have to decide which ones to get. Luckily, some of the games I wanted to audition, like Gigabash, are I already own. Oh, I've got Endeavor points to spend.
Head to escape route Beta. Protect the refugee ships. Refugee ships heading down escape route Alpha.
Melee weapon damage. Always. Is that good? Probably not. Is it meta? Definitely not. Do I want to stab things with a sword a lot? Yes. I'm going to, I think I'm going to, after this TFO, I'm going to run over to Nimbus 3 and get this Endeavor done. Oh, Steel Hunters does look fun, Rachel. I was also looking at something else. Forgot what it was called. But there was another mech game I got advertised on Facebook today that had a demo out that looked kind of cool. Yeah, Bort, I think for me it's not the grind, it's that I just don't understand. Like, I don't get enough feedback from hitting the monsters to understand what I'm doing right or wrong. Which is also a problem I have with Souls-like games. When you hit something and it doesn't react, I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing damage, if I'm not doing damage. I did really enjoy Dauntless. I'm sad to hear that's shutting down, but I also didn't really understand it. I just played it for a while.
Refugee ships heading down escape route Alpha. Protect them. Head to escape route Beta. Protect the refugee ships.
I was just thinking about it. It's a really good thing the servers came up when I
Get over there.
when I was done with my stream. Because now I can, or I was done with the interview part of the stream, so I can play. Otherwise, I would have had to been like, "Hey guys, come and hang out with me while I don't know. Maybe I would have gone and played Champions or something." You learn to worry more about dodging than landing big hits. Well, that's good to know. Fine.
That's everyone.
All right.
It will be good.
How'd we do? Sweet. I probably should start other reputations than just the 2 that I'm done. Yes, that's true, Rachel. The maintenances are usually at the same time, but a lot of times they come back at different times. And I imagine if Champs had maintenance today, they didn't have a very long one. Nope. Nope. Okay. Slowly working our way through. Alright, well, I've got the Discovery one going. Competitive, I know is GOAT, but I would have to play just those PvPvE TVFOs, right? Or I guess I could get them from doing randoms. How much does it cost to buy out? More than I have. 30 bucks. Not going to do that right now. But yeah, let's grab some competitive marks. Would be interesting to experiment with the competitive engines that make my ship way too damn fast. See if I can figure out how to control it. What are these again? Oh yeah. Oh, and I got 2 of these. I gotta open up and clear out. Got it. Start getting the comp rep elite marks too? Alright, I will. But for right now, we're gonna get started. I think I'm gonna run to Nimbus actually, Nihilus. Disco, my choice of name for the Shangri-La is, hold on, is Sunraku, because that is the main character of Shangri-La Frontier. Welcome back, Trexpert. Did you have a good trip wherever you went? No, I want to do none of those. I want to leave. Nope. Nope, you gotta go with Sunraku. Sorry guys, I'm the streamer, so what I says is more important. Yep, what I says is more important. All right. Is Nimbus in this quadrant or the other one? It's in the other one. It always is. No matter what quadrant I'm in, it's the wrong one. I like that too, Nihilus. Never a problem with good leet speak. Unless you're Elon Musk and you're naming a child. Then there's a problem. Hey, welcome, Sick Nate. Good to see you, man. I like the Chewy emote. Thank you very much for the follow. How'd you find out about us today? Good to know, Duncan. No Leon Scum in your STO. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, he's canonically mentioned in Star Trek. Thank God that character was from the Mirror Universe. I swear they just need to add, like, they just need to go back and film a pickup of everyone in that scene going, what? Yeah, I saw that, Rachel. I'm very excited. I own Mortal Kombat 1. Oh, that's funny, Altani. Yeah, they just need Lorca and Tilly, you're right. And they would probably both come back just to do that. I don't think you should have to pay money for that, Disco. I think they should just remove it. Even if it's a terrible audio edit. Even if he's like, Zephram Cochrane and... I also would pay money to have him removed from the end of the Machete movie. He's big. Going slow. Vector space. I need to unlock more mission warps. Kel MG, they wouldn't have answered that anyway, and I probably wouldn't have asked it. Most announcements of new stuff, not most. 100% of announcements of new stuff is going to be on, oh, it's all the way up there. Is going to be on, official, Deca streams when those start. Oh, wait, I do have a transport to Nimbus 3. It's right here. Oh, well. Enter the Nimbus system. Oh, no, I mentioned it, Fragrance. I mentioned it and called for you to be banned by you. Whoa. It's been a while since I've been to Nimbus. I don't remember this cool looking space station. Anyway. Yep, that's my team. Oh, I think we might have made Whale Probe too quiet, Fragrance. I could barely hear it. There's that, too. Oh, I have to start the mission because I came down here. Yeah, I figured it had always been there, Trexpert. I just don't remember it. Alright, so how do I find a rare boss on Nimbus to defeat? Were all of you just waiting here for me? Just out in the desert? Anywhere in particular? Run around till one spawns. Okay, what do they look like? One shows up right outside. Is that what all these people are waiting for? Follow witch captains. Alright, I'm going to assume that's... Nihilus, I do hope they one day add Moopsy, but... Oh, that looks like a boss. It's definitely already dead. Damn. I think Moopsy's a favorite amongst everyone who loves Star Trek. Except for people who are too much of a stick in the mud. I thought the tardigrade was a boss for a second. I'm so sorry, Duncan. I almost attacked a tardigrade. What are they shooting at? Oh. I think as long as I'm in this big group, I am never going to catch one, but we'll try it anyway. Yeah, see the Moopsy launcher is a great idea. Absolutely a war crime. The biggest war crime you could possibly commit, but still a great idea. Must script tardigrade snacks as a recompense. Rachel, sure, you can lead me. Where are you? And I am calm, so I don't know why you would tell me to calm down. Who would win in a one-on-one, Xenomorph or Moopsy? Moopsy. Look, Xenomorph is the ultimate killing machine, but Moopsy literally just eats everything in one freaking bite. I'm gonna run further into the desert. I know you weren't asking me, Fragrance, but my favorite episode of Lower Decks is still 3 Ships. I think that's one of the best episodes of Star Trek, period. I don't know what key you use, Disco, but there's this button right here that tells your... Sorry, not this button. This button that'll tell... Nope, this button that'll tell your crew where to go. Huh. I just started a mission. And then exited the mission. Okay. I still need to see Frozen Empire. I'm assuming that wasn't a rare boss. No. It's on Stars? Okay. I thought I saw it on like Netflix or something. The holodeck movie parodies are also amazing. Darn it. I think I just have to switch to a gun. Or I won't get any damage in on these guys. Oh, there's Zursa. Okay. Just follow you out for a bit. Since you say you know where a boss is. Wage Juge is just 3 ships, right? That's the same thing? Seriously? There you go, Rachel, and enjoy your new kung fu powers. We're taking the longest run to a rare boss. Well, I don't know the shorter one, Nihilus, so I'm going to follow Rachel. Hey, listen. Oh, I already did it before our Trexpert even did it. The Vox Calmed mod on anything. What does that mean, Kel? I thought that said Nautican's Sword Captain, and I was definitely about to duel this dude. Give me your energy! Oh, yes. That one. You've used it on turrets? That's amazing. Alright, we did it! Yay! Not blinking, right? No. But we still have to do some physical damage on the ground, and I know a great way to do that. Spin to win, baby! Oh my god, my bridge officers are killing them too fast for me to do physical damage. You guys, wait here. I'm gonna go fight everything. No, I have no plans on surviving out here. My plan is simply to kill you all and then beam back to the city. Gotta love my physical damage causing people to disintegrate. I'm glad that bug has not and will never be fixed. There we go. No, I haven't done it yet. I have to do 200 more damage. It just looks like I've done it. Oh, good lord, Disco. I was watching a video with my daughter the other day about a dad trying to teach his daughter how to play video games. And the video game that or he's trying to teach her to use WASD, and she was doing that kid thing where they refused. All right, cool. We've done all of that. I should probably go and destroy some Undine ships. Which Royal Flush has Undine ships, but they're on my side. Remind me what's a good TFO for Undine? No, I'm getting shot a lot. Bye. Dexter, how dare you actually be in my own home? Check the Undine area? Oh, the Dyson Sphere battle. I was just at the Dyson Sphere. Okay. Oh, I guess I could... No, that one's not going to be... Okay. Back to the Dyson Sphere, then. I can't, like, teleport directly to the battle zone via, like, a different menu that I don't know about, can I? Transwarp Allied Sphere Space. I don't seem to have that unlocked. Take the mission surface tension. Okay, we're just going to do that then. Do you know where the mission surface tension is? Dyson. That makes sense. Can't get there yet. Have to beat this stupid one first. But this will give me transport, so that's good. Yes, always abuse the mission warp if you can.
We run missions here from Joint Command, the center of all Allied operations. This is the supply depot. We use it to ship supplies to our forces and to store any unusual or dangerous technologies we find here. This region is the minefield. It is used as a barrier to keep Voth forces out, although some still slip by. And this is the ion stream. A series of structures moving a high volume of charged particles and exotic radiation through the area. Each of these areas could use your help.
Okay, so where do the Undine hang out, though? Far end? So, like, over by the minefield? Over in the contested zone? Where am I going? Space battle zone, separate map. Got it. Space battle zone content. Got it. Go to Space Undine battle zone. Got it. Rachel, it's okay. I figured it out. Thanks, though.
Captain, you are in the Undine battle zone. Our goal is to close fluidic rifts to destroy Undine planet killers. Here is our plan. This is a map of the battle zone. We have 3 different methods of closing the rifts.
That voice sounds familiar.
The area is red. When we close a rift, it will change to blue. Closing rifts advances our progress, shown by this meter. When it is full, we can launch our attack on the planet killers. We must defeat at least one planet killer for the operation to be considered a success.
Good luck.
What? That was a different voice saying good luck.
You are in a battle zone. The goal of a battle zone is to capture and hold the majority
Everything is controlled by the Undine. That should make this easy to hunt some Undine ships.
Your map shows which points are controlled.
Oh, what ship was that I just
You
flew
are
by?
at a Romulan point. Activate overall status of the zone is to...
Okay.
Undine will attempt to polarize...
I know I should be reading what I'm supposed to do. I know it would make it a lot easier. There's some ships. And once again, there's other players, and I'm not shooting fast enough to make a difference. So let's try a different zone. Oh, well, hold on. It's all right, Rachel. I'm in a good spot. Appreciate the thought, but I don't always need to be led everywhere. Sometimes kill endeavors work differently in teams. Well, that's good to know. Activate singularity. Sweet, we won that one. Let's jump to the next one. Which is exactly where they jumped to, which means I won't get a chance to destroy many ships, so I'm going to keep going.
Point. You must be in proximity of a device.
All right, we're over halfway there. Whoa! We're over halfway there. Got it, Dexter. That makes sense. Well, I should team up with people, but I am feeling unmotivated. Excuse me. Crap. Missed this one. Well, maybe not. Shoot forward towards those guys. Ah! Well, I tried. All right. Boom. All right, 10 more to go. Five more to go. Doing endeavors is the most exciting content on stream, isn't it? You know, honestly, Nihilus, I wouldn't be mad about it. I wonder if we could give, or if they could give Dexter a whole bunch of voice work and then, you know, put it in a different name to keep the government from robbing him blind. Four more to go. I posted about it in the Discord, but I don't know if I told you guys here. Did you see that they're filming Fallout right up the street from me? It's pretty cool. Cool. Need you to blow up 2 more Undine. Can't do it here. I want to get my old Breen engines back, just for the, I really liked the impulse trails on those. All right, all done. Thanks for the healing, but I'm leaving. All right. Mission rewards acquired. Nothing. What is this? Oh, okay. This is stuff for Oh, well, this seems more useful than the usual stuff you get from reputations. Oh, and they're already there. Great. The hoarding will always hurt, but it will never stop. Oh, those items only work in PvP. Oh. Well, poop. What are bits exactly? They are things you can buy and then gift to streamers that you like. Each bit is worth, I think, 1 cent. So, like, Eximer's always coming in here giving me 100 bits. It means he's giving me $1, and it's great, and I love it. Oh, I love this logo for the classic film bundle here. Thank you very much, Kiryamaya. Speaking of 100 bits, I really appreciate that. I don't need a PvP target. Thank you, Rachel. All right. I gotta make a phone call, but I'm gonna do one more random, and then we'll probably wrap it up. But this has been a really fun stream, and I'm glad that you all hung out with me today. Oh, right, I've got injuries. Should probably head back to Kronos while I'm waiting for this to pop. I always get it wrong, because I feel like it's pronounced differently on different episodes of Trek. Is it pronounced Kolnos or Kronos? Or is it one of those things that alternates depending on the actor? Yeah, always, Kiri. That's one of the reasons why I do this. Did I just... What? Both, it alternates. Oh, because I... Duh. This is the one we were talking about yesterday.
The time for battle is almost here. The Zinkethi are launching protomatter bombs at our defenses and the Edisapintis system.
Alright, sounds good. Q-ified K sound, okay. Ah! That always happens to me. I go too fast. Now I'm on the bad side for this. Am I still cloaked? I said uncloak. Oh, somebody there got the bomb. Protect them! Good job, everybody. Kolnos is the, Yeah, Dexter. I know it's originally based on that. Because everything in Star Trek is originally based on something like that. You know, some old mythology something. Vulcan, Romulan.
Teammate has captured a bomb.
Protect them! Just gonna heal up a bit, and then we'll get back to it. Oh, we're getting back to it right now.
Your teammate has captured a bomb. Protect them.
I would love to go back to learning. There's a lot of nerd languages that I want to learn. I want to learn Klingon, I want to learn Elvish, I want to learn how to read Aurebesh. But it's all just as much studying as learning a real language, and I barely have the energy to do that.
Another Zinkethi base has been destroyed. There are
3 left. You can teach me Orabesh? Is it easier than just... do you have a way that's easier than just, like, looking at the symbols and memorizing what they mean? I think I warped the wrong way. I can't really tell where the front of this ship is. Yeah, I did warp the wrong way.
Well fought. Only 2 Zinkethi bases remain. Only 1 Zinkethi base left.
I wonder where Klingon came from. Because it seems to be the only one that's just, like, made-up word. Whoops, blew up.
Your teammate has captured a bomb. Protect them. All Zinkethi bases destroyed.
All right.
We have a dreadnought with some fight left in it, however.
It's gonna take me a minute to get there. It'll probably be dead by the time I do. Or maybe not. I cannot tell in all of the stuff whether I'm shooting at the front of it or not. I'm not. I'm shooting at the sides, maybe? Oh, I'm definitely shooting at the sides. We win! Go us! Alright. Lieutenant Wilbur Klingon. Who is that? Are you making that up, Dexter, or is that a real thing? Thanks, Rachel. I appreciate it. I tend to like to figure things out for myself. But, alright, before I log off, I'm going to go over to the starbase and get these things healed. These ship injuries healed. Nope, it is this guy. Great. Which of the bundle did I get? I haven't gotten anything from the bundle yet, because I'm poor, and I don't get that stuff for free anymore. I wish I did, but I don't. All right. So, thank you very much to everybody who tuned in today and has been tuning in. As I mentioned, tomorrow is going to be our first console stream. It's going to be auditioning Dragon Age the Veilguard. If this goes well and I can stream from the living room, that opens up a lot more games for us to play together, so that'll be exciting. Oh, I might have a coupon, Jex Henry. I didn't even think about that. I should look into grabbing one. But in the meantime, I have some social media I'd love for you to follow. That command is still broken. I got to remember to fix that. But I'm Vengeance God on Blue Sky and Broken Infinity Films on Instagram. We've got a Discord. Please come and join us. You'll love it there. There's cool people, most of whom are in chat right now. There, we've got I'm on 3 podcasts on the Ace of Geeks Podcast Network, and I think you'll like all of them. Please to be checking out the League of Swords, which is my pro wrestling with sword fights show. And finally, I do have... Oh, we have merch now. Which you should go to the store to check out. Let me go ahead and up here. Yeah. So you can get some cool designs. Like proud captain of a frisbee strapped to a canoe. And USS Oberth, a frisbee strapped to a canoe. And finally, I've got a wish list. If you want to buy me something, go right ahead. There's also now, at the bottom of the Twitch thing, if you go to About Me, there is a tip button you can hit. If you want to just send me money, you can do that. Seems a weird thing, but you can definitely do that. All right. Well, with all of that in mind, I'm going to snooze this one more time. I'm going to see who's available to raid. I'm going to see who... Let's see. Oh, lots of people are playing right now. Well... Casual SAB is playing Star Trek Online, so that seems like the easiest thing to do. All right, folks. It has been a pleasure. It has been an honor. I hope I will see you all again very soon. Have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.